shit that you've been told, and you need that info. Sonetta TV, Sonetta TV. Tune in to consciousness and watch the lies fold, then you can let the truth flow. On Sonetta TV, Sonetta TV. When you feel that melanin about to explode, like you feel the wind blow, it's Sonetta TV, Sonetta TV. I know you got the truth, but you can get more, so you continue to grow. Sonetta TV, Sonetta TV.
Peace and black power to my people. Welcome to another House of Consciousness production, where you know we got to go on in with Sonetta TV, baby. You never know what's to come, so tune in and stay on time, cause this is about to go down. Brother Polite and IMAM BASHIR. You never know what Sonetta will bring to you.
I have a brother right here that had took on Dr. Ali Muhammad. Who? And he's a imam.
Who took on Ali Muhammad?
I'm gonna show you right now. He's an imam. He's standing right amongst us. So I want to know,
where he at?
Where does Islam stand in our teaching, brother? Is Islam the way to go for our people?
This is what I'm gonna tell you. I'm not a religion basher. Or
right.
Now religious people say what they do is not religion.
Right.
So what I'm gonna say is this. If it's gonna get the people off of drugs, okay? If it's gonna stop them from killing each other, hold on. I'm not gonna buck dance. I'm not gonna buck dance.
All right, go ahead.
Right now, if it's a stepping stone,
right?
If it's a stepping stone that they can use to cultivate themselves, then we walk with it. But so long as the people teaching or doing that,
let me go this way.
Now let me finish. Let me finish. Now I'm not buck dancing. You gotta let me finish, man. Let me finish, man. If the people that are doing, the indoctrination are convincing you that you should not study other reading material because this religion is it, then we know that we have insecurity.
Right, well, is Islam a man-made religion? Did God come down and write the Quran, or is that man-made as well?
All those religions are man-made, man.
That's what there you go. I don't want you to buck this. Keep it real.
They're all man-made religions.
Here's the imam right here that took on Dr. Ali Muhammad. Imam BASHIR.
Oh, what's up, brother?
Come on over here, brother.
Peace, brother.
You don't come to Harlem and don't get it in. You got to get it in.
Come on, let's do it,
You
brother.
don't get this work right now. Now, BASHIR.
Well, I agree with him.
You agree that Islam is man-made?
It always came through man.
Right, so that means it was man-made. God ain't had nothing to do with it.
No, that's not what that means.
All
that
right,
means that there was a message given to man. Man took it in his mind, and then he put it on books, so on and so forth.
So are you aware that the Arabs came into Africa, raped and kidnapped us, and we were slaughtered in the name of Allah? If we didn't take our shahada, just like when the Jews was ran out of there, they had to convert to Christianity just to stop themselves from being slaughtered. So that's just true. Like African people, they had to convert to Islam
by force.
By force. Are you aware of that, bro?
First of all,
does such a story even exist?
Sheikh Diop.
Yes, go ahead.
Let me start here. When you're dealing with Islam, you got to deal with Islam versus what the people do, because the people can always go astray from the teachings. So when the Quran expresses how you deal with mankind, and you see the opposite treatment of that, you can't, give that to the people that claim in Islam. However, scholars such as Sheikh Diop said that, when the Islam came in, it came through peace, and actually the Berbers, they took the message and gave it to the African people, and that's how the people started accepting Islam. Now later on, you had robberies amongst, those that have already accepted Islam, such as in the Sudan. In the Sudan, you have problems with Muslims and Christians. However, those Muslims that we're talking about are black people. Where are you going to stop being so selective in the information? Because it's other scholars as well that mentioned that when the Muslims came in, they came in peace. They didn't come in just slashing. This is what they'll tell you. Oh, that's easy to show and prove. At least 5, 6 different scholars, brother. Islam in itself has been the most powerful force to raise black people. And it's unfortunate that we want to, and what really happens is we take the Bible and then we say, well, religion. well, religion is bad. But really, we're talking about Christianity.
Well, you
Because
know why we
nobody
say
can mess
religion
with
is
this
bad,
Holy
brother?
Quran.
Yo.
Nobody can mess with this Holy Quran.
So the Holy Quran is
When
in
it
pure
comes,
form?
no. Yeah, of course it is. Of
It
course
has
it
never
is.
been tampered with?
Of course it has. Of course it hasn't. Of course
It hasn't been tampered
No,
with?
sir. And if you want to bring up Uthman ibn Affan, and you know,
Here's a
Quran
question,
burning,
here's a
so
question.
on and so
Here's
forth.
a couple questions, man.
All right, go ahead.
Here's a couple questions. Which one come first? Arabic or Arabic Fusha or Greek?
Arabic.
Which one come first? Arabic Fusha, or French?
Arabic.
Okay, so when a person makes salat, if we go into that word etymologically,
Right.
we're going to find salute in French. It comes from a French word.
Wait.
Now,
You
it's
can't
hold
go etymology
Hold on,
with
no.
something that came after.
Hold on, brother. Let me talk to you. Let me
Okay,
talk to you.
go ahead.
If Muslims are making salat, and that's the word that they are using, okay? Because you're saying that no one can mess with the Quran, no one can tamper with the Quran, and all this other stuff. Listen, if Muslims can make salat, and etymologically, when we trace that Arabic word back, we're going to wind up in France. And if we call on Isa, and we check that Arabic word etymologically, it's going to go back to Greece. Isa is a Greek word, but that's what you call Jesus.
That's not
go
true.
ahead.
That's not true, but go ahead.
Isa ibn Maryam, who's that?
Isus would be the Greek.
No, I'm going to say this.
Jesus.
I'm going to say this.
Not Isa.
I'm going to say this.
So,
No, let me do it like this.
Go ahead.
Let me do it like this.
Go ahead.
This is very easy to do. If we look up the derivative of the word Isa, as in Isa ibn Maryam, or Jesus son of Mary, if we look up the word on your own personal time, you will find that it has a Greek derivative. And if you look up the word salat as another example, and you'll see that from Arabic you're going to wind up going into French. Now, if Arabic is first, and those languages didn't exist like he confirmed, then it stands to reason that Greek people and French people had their hands in the making of the Quran at some point or the other, or the tampering of the Quran. So that's what I'm saying.
That's just rhetoric. There's no way.
not rhetoric.
Wait,
Let's
hold
look
on,
it
let
up.
me tell you how. No.
Go ahead.
You're talking about the words. The first thing is,
Yes,
you
language.
can't tell me that linguistically the Arabic language preceded French and Greek.
It does.
But yet, hold up. But yet you're saying, but because these words are used and can be found in that language, they had to be a part of creating the Quran. That's not true. If you take one of the latest English to the latest languages to come into existence is English. English is compiled of many different words from many different languages. So that would be like saying, okay, this new language borrowed from other languages, so this is obviously where it derived from, and that's not linguistically correct.
Let's go ahead.
So hold up. So when you're talking about Isa, first of all, the Greek is Isus.
We know that.
They generally spell it I-E-S-O-U-S.
This is correct.
Now, when you're looking at Semitic languages, a lot of these languages have connections, and you can see the relation between each other, especially when you're dealing with the Arabic or the Hebrew
This is
letters,
true.
right? So the word Isa in itself is proven to be Aramaic, and it's also used in Sanskrit and other places as well. So it shows us that this word was used across the land in the Middle East way before Greek or French influence
Brother,
came
this
in.
is the only reason why people don't like religion. Because now when you start
part of that?
when we
You gotta
start
let him
dealing
talk.
with
He let
facts,
you talk. You
when we
gotta let
start
him talk.
dealing with facts,
I got it.
then we go through a problem. Like for instance, do y'all not say that Prophet Muhammad was illiterate?
Yes.
Yes.
Yet, when the angel came to speak to Muhammad with the recitation called the Quran, he told him to ikra, read,
Right.
correct, in his own what? Lisan, which is in the Hebrew lashon, which is in the Padic lasun, which all means tongue. Now, why are you telling, how does an illiterate man receive a book to read? You understand? Now, I'm gonna tell you something. If we study the language phonetically, the word can allude to mother. But if you study the language, Ummi also means unlearned in scriptural language. You understand what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that you can't read at all. It means you can't read the dialect of a certain scripture. But just something as simple as that. When blacks take on something that's not part of their culture, 'cause let me tell you something. If Islam was black people's culture, black people would know this.
That's right.
But if Islam is not black people's culture, we have to rely on the people that gave it to us to walk us through the culture.
Yeah.
So the whole time they teach us, a man received the book and was told to read the book and couldn't read, and he's the one that's saying this book is good. How the hell does a man that can't read go around the world telling people that this book is a good book to read, you need to live by this book? But truth be told, the word that they use for illiterate is ummi, and it means unlearned, or what they would say scripturally, unlettered, which means that it's hard to understand in that dialect. And that's why he said, read this in your own tongue, because in turn, Quran would actually mean recitation. They had to be recited to him in his tongue, because he wouldn't be able to understand it in the Quraysh. He was of the Quraysh tribe, hence the term Quran. He was of the Quraysh tribe. And then we go deeper. If you ask a Muslim, what was Prophet Muhammad's family's last name before he became Abdullah, they will be afraid to answer any learnt Muslim.
Well,
no, what you heard so far, it was a bunch of intellectual ejaculation. That's it.
That's what they do
That's
all
it.
the time.
So look, so first the brother say that we're talking about, is Islam good for our people? So he takes us to, well, Isa is actually in the Greek, it's actually in the French, garbage, get an X there. Then he takes you into, well, Muhammad couldn't read, he was illiterate.
That's what y'all teach.
But look, in the definition that he gave you, he already basically told you that he was functionally illiterate. So when you're functionally illiterate, that doesn't mean that you don't have the capability to write or to recite or understand. It's just a representation to let us know that this person is not a person that went through K through 12 and then also went to college and also got their PhD. So this is hold on, wait. This is irrelevant. This is irrelevant to the condition of our people and what Islam has to give to it. So when we're talking about 73% of black women running single family households, when we're talking about 54 or 55% of black children dropping out of school, when we're talking about how we are dealing with one another when it comes to social relationships, our family relationships, these are the answers that we need. And there's no doubt that anyone is going to be able to sit here and prove that Islam can't reform the family, because when I see Elijah Muhammad, I see Islam used regardless as to the different faction that he used of Islam. I see Malcolm X also tell us that Islam is what our people need. We see that Noble Drew Ali also used Islam.
But he wasn't talking about that.
Hold on, wait.
Regardless, the Arabs. No, you got to keep it real. When Malcolm said we need Islam, he was talking about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He wasn't talking about following no pair of Arabs.
No, follow the pattern. I ain't tell you to follow no pair of Arabs.
All right.
Follow the pattern. The pattern is you had three. I just mentioned 3 different individuals that use Islam and use it in different ways.
Here's a question.
Go ahead.
And I love the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Go ahead.
Did the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad speak Arabic?
No.
Okay. But what we're supposed to learn. He spoke a little Arabic. Hold on. I'm going to come, brother, because I'm making a point. A question has yet to be answered still, for the record.
What is
you know what I'm saying? And what was the last name of Prophet Muhammad's parents? Because we identify Prophet Muhammad as Abdullah. Right. What was his parents' last name? And I'm going to show you why Islam, the brand of Islam being taught to us, we might as well just let the religion go, because this keeps happening to black people. Every time in search of an identity, we take on these people's mythos. We take on their stories.
That's right.
And it's watered down extracts from our original culture. So what I'm saying is, even our leaders, and the best effort that they made, they did the best that they can do in the time that they lived in. So I don't want to say nothing to take away from Noble Drew Ali. I don't want to take nothing away from the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, one of the greatest people ever. But to tell us, well, they all use Islam, well, you know what? Marcus Garvey was under Catholicism. So should we follow Catholicism because all these other cats were Garveyites before they was doing what they was doing? Should we be under the Catholic Church?
I want him to answer. What was Muhammad's last name?
Abdullah.
Abdullah?
Yes, Abdullah.
What was his parents' last name? And how did he become Abdullah?
It was Ahmed.
His parents' last name was Abdullah.
Ahmed.
Was it Abdullah or Abdullah?
This is where we got to go.
Was Prophet Muhammad's mother and father?
We're going to have to go to the Arabic.
No problem.
No. It's Abdullah. What are you talking about?
It's Abdullah.
Come on, man. It's Abdullah.
Do you understand a comment?
This is why we got to pull out the Arabic
I'm gonna ask you a
and
question.
read the Arabic.
I'm gonna ask you a
and
question.
Then we'll be able to see.
I'm gonna ask you a question.
Instead of talking.
Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Do you know, as far as Arabic is concerned, is there a common mistake made with words that end with H and words that end with T? Is there a common mistake? Now hold on, slow down. Now you're gonna tell me it's not a common mistake made? I can explain to you why it's a common mistake. Because when the word has a tar marbuta on it, Okay? Because they added vowels.
What's the Tamabuta?
It's a vowel.
What kind of vowel? What it looks like?
The Tamabuta goes above the letter. And when the tar is a
What
dot,
does it look like?
originally it's a dot above the letter.
Oh, it's a dot. Okay. I'm asking the question. Now, the Tamabuta that he's talking about is really not in classical Arabic. What he's talking about is other contemporary Arabic, because it's called a nukta that goes on the top.
Nukta means dot.
The nukta,
Yeah.
right.
Now here's a
Nukta
now,
or Tamabuta?
now hold on. Now hold on.
In classical Arabic, when you learn the language, is it nukta or Tamabuta?
And
Tamabuta comes with contemporary Arabic that has a different dialect than the Quranic
Listen,
Arabic.
this is the question. Does the Kisra, does the Dhamma, does the Tamabuta, does the Sukun, did any of that exist in original Arabic?
No. No.
So now, your Quran has those constructs called Nakun. It's
Right.
the same thing that happened with the Hebrew text called the Nikudiyin,
Go
which
ahead.
are a dot system.
Right.
What is it that we understand? Do you understand the point being made?
No.
And now I'm gonna give you the point.
Wait,
You
if
said no,
hold
so
on,
let me
stop
explain
right
to you.
there real quick.
I'm
If you
explain
wanna
something to you.
If you want to say, we can mistake a ta from a ha, and we have the
No, I'm not
nukta-
saying that.
Wait,
I'm not saying
you
that.
You did say that.
I'm not saying that.
You said that.
I'm not saying-
You said
I
the
said-
ta and the ha can be mixed up with one
No,
another.
I said this, and you can rewind it.
All right, go
I
ahead.
said, is it a common mistake
Is it a
for
common-
words that have the H at
Tomato,
the end of it?
tomato. Right.
Hold on. No, it's not tomato, tomato.
Right.
Because one is based on a person who has knowledge of Arabic, and another is based on a person who has knowledge of English, trying to understand an Arabic text. So,
That's not you?
Hold on, brother. That's not me.
you? Oh, okay,
Let me
it's a
talk to you,
panel
brother.
law.
Let me talk to
Panel
you,
law.
brother.
Go ahead.
So, if a person who is engulfing themselves into a Muslim culture.
Somebody got a pen? I got a pen.
This is interesting, but can I talk?
Write this out. Go ahead.
Can I talk?
No,
When a person speaks English and they're giving a foreign culture, remember the conversation is about, is Islam for the people?
Right.
Is religion for the people?
Right.
Let me walk you through a story real quick. Very, very simple, very quick, very cut and dry. I'm gonna explain something to you about religion. When you go into the Bible, right, you'll find you have the Bible.
Let's go to the Quran.
Hold on, brother. Hold on. Let's go to the top.
Hold up, you
Hold on,
keep
brother. Let me
cutting
just
them
build,
off,
brother.
man. See, when people do that, they don't want you to let
They-
this
they
truth
grow
out.
insecure.
Why are we going to the Bible? We're talking about the
I'm
Quran.
gonna-
I'm going to give you a point
When
because
I
you're
come
not
to you,
understanding
you
my
can go
point.
into the
Go ahead,
Quran.
all right.
My brother, you're not understanding the point I'm making, so now I'm going to take
I'm
you
sorry,
on a,
beloved.
I'm
Go
going to take you on a
ahead.
short journey,
Somebody
a
got
long
something
walk
to
on a short path.
If
But I
you
want you
say.
to listen to what I'm saying. Because this same thing that's going on with all the religions has happened over and over and over again. So this is why we at a point where we're like, we don't need no religions no more.
Right.
So now I'm going to take you into the Torah or the Tanakh, right? Now when we go into the Tanakh, this is what they do. They walk away, they don't listen.
Right,
Then they come
right.
back here and make me repeat myself 2-3 times. I'm the paper, God. You, trust me, I'll write it for you. So when you go to the Tanakh, right? These guys come down from a mountain and say, God said this.
That's what they do.
Now that's good. God might have even gave them that. Even if it's 613 commandments and these shits was on stone, and I know they wasn't holding all 613, niggas had to go back and forth to that mountain. But we're gonna ignore that. We're gonna ignore that. And this is what we're gonna say. What if God did give us the Tanakh? Then what did man do? Then man came up with a Talmud, a Mishnah, and a Zohar. This was man's interpretation so you can understand God's word a little more. Now we're gonna go into the Bible, right? And what did they do when we got the Bible? They said this is the word of God. And then we have epistles in the Bible, which means what? Letters. Letters of men. Men started writing letters and giving their breakdown about what was going on in the Bible. Now we're gonna go into Islam. And they say God sent us the Quran. But then they give us the Sunnah and they give us the Hadith. Now we're gonna reverse again. Now we have the Torah all over again. Now I just showed you how man keep creating books to so-called get you closer to God, but that's where the confusion comes in, because now we got to accept a group of people's interpretation who sat there and agreed that this is going to be how everybody perceives this. Now the next thing is this. Now we already went through the Torah, has the Talmud, the Mishnah, Zohar. We went through the Bible, has the epistles. Okay, we went through the Quran, has the Hadith and the Sunnah. Okay, now we're going to start over. When we go to the Torah, now we have the what? The Masoretic text, which is when you change the color or the connotation of the words because you're adding vowels. And when the vowels get taken out the text, the words change and the meanings change. But when you add vowels, and the reason why they added vowels, because they didn't want people to properly pronounce the words, because they believed that if you call on the Creator by the right tones, He will respond. If I call you Michael Sarnetta, you're not going to turn around. You're not going to respond to my call. So they believed everybody didn't have the right to call on their Creator's names or the words that they gave us for empowerment, so they added vowels to it. Nikudiyim is what they would call it. Okay, they added vowels in the Torah. Now, what we'll see is this. When we go to the Bible, they gave us Shakespearean. Understanding most people could barely understand English the right way. I'm not talking about the English we speaking now. Right. It's still broken bread. They're going to put it in Shakespearean so only a small group of people could really understand it. Now, hold on. Now we're going to go to the Quran. And when we go to the Quran, guess what we're going to see?
Uh-oh.
Now, when we go to the Quran, they also added a vowel system of nukta, as he explained. But guess what happens when we add these vowels now to the words? The words change in meaning, and a lot could turn into an Allah because of this new system of vowels, because the H and the T are interchangeable. I wouldn't say interchangeable. They can be replaced by each other, by tar mabuta. It can be, and that's the exact image that is used to change the name. So, in conclusion, to change a word, like for instance, Allah can be a lot if you study the language. And if you study the language and during the Jahiliyyah period, which is what they call the pre-Islamic era, which means ignorance, because they said people was ignorant before they got Islam. During the Jahiliyyah period, Prophet Muhammad's parents was known as Abdullah, with a T at the end. And it's no coincidence. If we study the Igbo tribe or Igbo tribe of Nigeria, we'll find that their God of creation is called Allah. So my point is, they change the words every time, scripture to scripture. They change the conversation throughout every religion. Men add letters, they add their conversations, they add their traditions, and they add their vowels to take you away from the original message. And if that's going to be the case, give them back their religion, because black man, black woman, you don't understand it yourself.
There you go.
You're learning from them.
All right, my brother. I mean, I know he said a lot. Can you answer some of those?
I can answer this very shortly, because the thing is that we have to understand our problems is what's happening in our household. Our problems is what we're going through in this very life. So what are the solutions that's going to alleviate those problems? This is what Islam is for. What he's talking about, you have to know linguistically what the Quran is saying in the Arabic. Most of us don't know that. But check this. What he's saying about the nuqtas being placed there, any person that learns Arabic knows that this is for non-Arab speaking people, so they can teach you how to pronounce the vowels. For example, watch this. Without the nuqtas, I can take this and I can write without nuqtas.
I got the roll up.
This word here.
It still be Allah.
Right?
It still be Allah.
Which is Allah. This word in Arabic is Allah.
Let me see it. Let me see it.
Go ahead.
Right. Now let's put the nuqtas there. So, and I'm going to show you how this works. So that way, when a non-speaking, Arab-speaking person, you can say, this sound here makes a sound. So everybody make the sound. We're going to learn Arabic real quick. This sound here makes another sound, right? The line, right? This shadda here, the W brings a double sound.
That's right.
So you make the sound and you bring it double. Allah, all right, and add the end. With a non-speaking Arab, a person that don't speak Arabic will not understand how to make this connection. That's what they are for. Now this is how I'm gonna expose what the brother is saying now. Hold up. We're gonna expose it. Now first, how many ha's are there in the Arabic language and their pronunciation?
There's 3 ha's.
What are they? Can you pronounce them? Now, if you look here, can you write them for me?
Brother.
No, can you write them for me?
No.
All right, look. See if I'm correct since you said them, right? Now, this here would be what? A ha, right? This is a ha, right? This also is a ha. Excuse the messy writing, right? This one here is not a ha. Now, what the brother is saying is that when you use the nuqtas, the ha here has 2 dots. 2 dots. This will make this ta. This here is a ha.
But what is your point,
hold up, wait, I'm about to explain, because you don't know the Arabic, you're not following me. But listen closely so you can understand that they are not commonly a mistake. The Arabs and people that know Arabic don't make that mistake, because there's a big difference between this ha and that, right? So how can you make the mistake of saying, oh, this means that, or even this means that, when you can see the pattern?
Question?
You can see the pattern.
Can I ask you a
understand?
question?
That has nothing to do with what I was talking about.
Is there racism in Islam?
Is there racism? There's no racism in Islam.
Come on, you telling me?
Listen to me. Listen closely.
Let's go back.
Listen closely.
Stop.
Wait, listen
Let's
closely.
go back to the language.
No,
Let's go
because
back
you're
to the
Arab.
Oh,
No, let's get this right, man. Arab is not synonymous
It's
with Islam.
racism and everything. So first of
Arab
all,
is not
you should not even
synonymous
have
with
gone
Islam.
that. You should not even go in that direction, man.
What are you talking about?
You should just keep it 100 and say it does exist, but it don't exist everywhere. Just be humble, man.
No.
Don't.
First of all, how could what the word Islam mean rather than a person that's called a Muslim? All Arabs are not Muslim, contrary to popular belief. In fact, the Arabs are the smallest majority of the Muslims in the world.
Listen, there's discrimination in Islam.
No, there's discrimination in the world that people are claiming Islam, but not in that Quran. You ain't gonna find racism in that Quran.
Wow.
You're gonna find chauvinism.
Show me where the racism and chauvinism is in the Holy Quran.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
Okay.
What does Rahim mean? What translate that, brother? First of all, translate that.
I seek refuge with Allah from the accursed Satan,
right.
in the name of Allah, the gracious and merciful.
The what?
The gracious and merciful.
What word are you describing as merciful? Is that Rahim?
Rahman.
Rahman el-Rahim. Rahim, right?
Rahim, yes sir.
Does the word Rahim mean womb?
No. That.
The word doesn't mean Rahum. The trilateral root in Arabic, R-H-M. That doesn't allude to womb?
Aki.
Does it not mean womb?
It doesn't mean womb.
Now, what I'm going to ask y'all to do, because this is going to be null and void,
Right.
do your research and put the word womb next to Rahim. And what you're going to find is that now I want you to translate it again, brother. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim.
You go ahead and translate. Go ahead and translate.
They're seeking refuge in Allah's womb. And any Arabic-speaking person, if you say, brother, does Rahim mean womb? They will not be insecure.
First of all,
hold on.
Let him go.
Hold on. I just asked him to translate it again.
And he ain't want to.
No.
He ain't want to.
For what? But you
I
saying
asked
it
you,
wrong again.
Can you do me a favor?
One is Rajim and one is Rahim. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Not Rahim.
Listen.
It's not Rahim, huh?
Listen.
Man. Stop playing.
Listen.
Stop
All you
playing.
gotta do is
Stop
go
playing
to
right now.
any Arabic-speaking person. Go ahead. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillah.
You just said Rajim. You just said Rajim.
El-Rahman.
You just said Rajim. I'm glad it's on tape. So wait. Is it Rajim or Rahim in seeking refuge with Allah from the cursed Satan? Which one is it?
Rajim.
It's Rajim.
It's Rajim.
So Rajim and Rahim and Rahman, they're totally different, beloved. They're totally different. So how you trying to make Rajim synonymous with Rahim or Rahman? How can you do that?
One of those words, brother. Listen carefully.
Go ahead.
Listen carefully.
Go ahead.
I'll only ask you a simple question.
Go ahead.
Does any word in there allude to womb?
No.
None of those words in there allude to womb.
No.
So again, I'm going to ask y'all to do your research. I'm going to ask y'all. Did you find something?
Right there.
Go ahead.
Hold on. Pull it back. Go back. Go back.
Oh, because it's on the internet, it must be true.
No, because you saying it must be true. I said look it up.
Right.
I didn't say because Polite said it.
a little bit more than
Hold on, brother. Hold on, stop.
To look
Where's
up
it at?
Arabic.
Show me where it's
Are
at.
you kidding me?
Rahim.
Let me see.
Rahim.
Scroll down.
Let me see. What is it?
R-H-M. Like I said, it's a trilateral root. Post about Rahman, Rahim, womb. Okay? Now these are all, if you Google it, you're going to see nothing but posts that show you Rahim goes to womb. And if you speak to any Arabic-speaking person, I'm talking about a pale Arab, not a black man that's converted to pale Arab religion.
Yo, hold on. Read from right here.
The root word, Rahmin, from which Rahman and Rahim are derived, literally mean the womb. So Allah has a womb.
Wait.
Hold on. Allah has a womb.
Yeah.
Allah has a womb. Now my problem with Islam, Allah has a womb.
What?
A womb. So my problem with Islam is the black woman is God, and they over here keeping secrets that they pray to a female God.
Give him a
And if you go,
Give him a chance, Polite.
hold on, and if you go to the word of Allah, prior to Prophet Muhammad's coming, his family was worshiping a female god named Alat. And when you put that, and guess who helped Tahuti with that part? And Tahuti will confirm.
Taramabuta.
Taramabuta. You remember the debate?
That's right.
So listen,
That's right.
I will play like I don't know, because I learned something from my brother Hebrew Israelites.
Right.
When you start messing around with these religious people, they can say what they want on the fly, and then they fans take what they say. So now what I'm going to start doing, when I'm in a discrepancy in a debate on the street, we're going to use our phones so we can confirm if niggas is using the wrong verses. And we're going to confirm when they try to make me out to be a liar by showing me letters. I say, I'm going to humble myself and let this man write the letters as he wants to write them. I'm going to fall back because you can't play around when people start pushing their shit. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to prove my point nonetheless at the end.
There you go.
So now we found out that Allah has a womb. Now, what do we do? Are you going to humble out and say, brother, you know what, I didn't know it alludes to womb? Brother, I didn't know the word has its root in womb? Or are you still going to say, oh, that's Google and you only have 1,000 results?
Let's hear his response.
First of all,
are you going to say I'm sorry?
Hold up, wait a second. I'm not saying I'm sorry, because
see, this is why we can't deal with
what you're doing.
people.
No. You're going to say, first of all, understanding what they're saying was, even if they're going to say it derived from something, the word now does not necessarily...
How come it don't mean that now? That's my point.
The word, no, because it derived...
Who changed it?
It derived from Ra. Now, when you add things to a word, then it changes the meaning of the true essence of the word. So you said yourself, R-A-H, which is Ra, which we're talking about.
I'm talking about trilateral root,
but we're talking, wait a minute, you had a minute. Now, what we're talking about is the word Rahim together. So, anytime you want to...
I'm good, brother.
Oh, you good?
Thanks. I'm listening, brother.
Anytime you want to do the etymology, it may take you into something that, you know, was different than we're understanding now. The example...
But you don't have to go that deep in etymology. That's what the word literally means.
But check, the word Rahim doesn't literally mean that.
The Pale Arabs change the meaning when it goes into the Quran.
The word Rahim doesn't really mean that.
They don't want the people reading to know that, so they change the meaning.
But look, this is what I'm saying. In this type of conversation, you have to prove with putting the Arabic up. You can't, we can just talk like this and show the difference. Oh, so what? You pull the information.
Let me show you something.
When the scholars break down this word of Rahman or Rahim, that R-A-H that you said, they said that it derived from R-A-H. But that doesn't necessarily denote that that's the meaning of the word.
I understand.
Just like if you take school and then you look at the etymology, you will see that it is hell. But hold up. But the reality is that that word has a different essence and connotation.
Brother, I'm gonna ask you a question.
Do you humble out and say...
You said if the word has... I said, do any of those words... Brother, can I talk to you, please, please? I asked you, do any of these words have anything to do with the womb? You said no. So I said, you know what? Hold on.
Still don't.
Okay, listen. So now that we pulled it up, when we first pulled it up, you said, oh, what? Because it says that over there. What are we supposed to do after you and I speak? That's why you keep hearing me say, you know what? Y'all just go and do research. When I talked to the Israelites, you know what people did?
Do you know what
they went back and realized, hold on. Brother, I hear you. Do you know that when people got to go home and look it up and say, you know what? He didn't use that verse. But you know where they got the whole concept of looking up the verse? God gave the chapter in the verse. So when they go home and do their own research, that's what this is for. This is not necessarily for you and me exclusively. This is for the people so they could definitively conclude. So now I'm asking a question.
The same thing.
No, this is my last thing. I just need to understand my brother's rationale. Because this is that religious shit right here. If you just told me, none of those words have nothing to do with the womb, or did you make an error?
No, I already told you the word Rahman and the word Rahim,
did you make an error?
They do not mean womb.
No. So
they do not
what's
mean
all
womb.
Those thousands of results from?
Period.
First
of all, I just looked at it. I haven't analyzed it all the way.
Okay,
but
so
look,
this is what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to ask you to go home, analyze it, and come back to sign letter.
It's easy. Hold up. It's easy enough. That's what I'm saying.
I'm
you have to show the people.
No, hold on, real quick.
I want to go somewhere else.
One thing about language. When you're looking at the so-called Proto-Semitic languages, there's something called a trilateral root. I'm gonna show you something, okay? When you go to Hebrew or Napadic or Arabic, right? You might have Makan, right? makan in Arabic means place. If you go to Hebrew, you're gonna have makon. Makon means place. And the paddock, you say makun. Makun means place. But what are the three things you keep hearing? M, K, and N. That's the three-part verb. The consonants make up the essence of the word, and then where you place the vowels becomes a discrepancy in Proto-Semitic languages. I'll do it again. You might have KTB in Hebrew, or you might have KTB in Arabic, but they both going to allude to book or that which is written or scripture, and even in the paddock. Because KTB, so if I say kitab, like kitabullah, just because I hear the K, the T, and the B, I know it alludes to something dealing with writing, because of trilateral root. So when you deal with RHM, now that shows you makan, makon, and makun in the paddock, and Hebrew and Arabic as an example, MKN, but they put the vowels different.
All right, now
the point is this, fam. This is a lesson so people could go in deep. This is a lesson so people could go in deep so they could look it up and say that brother's not lying. When you use R, H, and M, the trilateral root, which means this is the essence of the word, the trilateral root is going to tell you that you're talking about the womb, a literal womb. That's what the trilateral root is going to tell you. Now you may not. Now hold on, my brother. You may not know this, and I can accept that. But what I'm saying is this: after you openly dismiss the facts presented before you, just humble out and just be like, you know what? I did say this, man. Just humble out. That's all, brother. I'm not knocking you.
You can run that. You can run that game to them. You ain't running that game to me.
They the ones who
you
pulled
ain't
it
running
up.
that game to me.
Oh, man.
When you get it, when you pull out. When you pull out,
who pulled it up?
When you
everybody pulled out their phones and started Googling.
Is he with
that's
him?
fine. That's fine.
Nah, it just came out here.
We did. So he just heard them speaking about something, and he pulled it up on his phone just like that?
Just like that.
He asked the man too.
So we looking for mercy in Allah's womb.
Look, let me ask you a question.
Let's
change the subject.
We look for mercy in Allah's womb.
No, I want to ask you a question. Was Islam here before ancient Kemet teachings? Ma'at.
Nope.
The Quran wasn't, but Islam was.
See, this is that religious stuff, man. Just tell the truth.
Just know what does the word mean.
It's a 1400-year-old
What does the word mean?
Hold on. You saying peace. You saying
That's
peace.
just like, wait.
Hold on. He wants to use the meaning of the word
was peace
as opposed
on
to
the
the
planet?
religion.
It was peace on the planet from the beginning. I gotta say yes.
Let me finish.
Yes, but that's not what he asked you.
How can
He asked you about the religion.
How can the religion of Islam be in existence, right? When there was no goddamn.
I said the Quran was,
brother.
Go ahead.
When there was no Jesus, there was no Abraham, there was no Moses, there was no Muhammad, there was none of that stuff, man.
Crazy, man.
During the time of the Great Pyramids, the Step Pyramids, none of that stuff existed.
You know that to be true.
What are you
Don't
talking
act
about?
like you don't know that. You know that.
Come on, bro.
Listen what I said. Listen what I said. I said the Quran.
There you go. Now
That's all he got to do.
Hold up.
The
That's all he gotta
principles is
say.
here.
there you go.
It wasn't always in that name.
There you go,
But
brother.
Islam was here,
Now,
but
see,
not in that
that's
name.
what
It all derived from the Maya.
Now you see, this don't mean that we're trying to take down Islam, man.
What I'm saying is that we understand the definition of this word Islam, which is to be at peace.
And did you know
right?
it came
Hold
from
up.
Maya?
So therefore, when we use this word, this is why you will see Muslims say, well, Moses was a Muslim.
But it came from
This
my
is why you will hear
see,
that.
I don't want
You
to
will
go
hear
too
the
far.
people saying.
But you know it came from Ma'at, right? Peace. When you say peace was here. So you know it came from Ma'at, the teachings of
Hotep,
Ma'at.
man. Hotep.
The people of
Just say
Kemet
Hotep,
had
man.
peace in their system that is corresponding with the teachings of the Quran.
But
of
you
course,
know it
there's
came from Ma'at.
there's no mistake in that.
So why not go to the root, man?
First of all,
Why not go to the root?
Wait,
Where you can, hold
is
up,
Ma'at
hold
the
up.
root?
Where you can
Is
find
Ma'at
it
the
carved
root?
in stone instead of somebody giving you paper, a book. Where's your original manuscript? Don't we always say that?
What are you talking about? We got the Quran in original manuscript. What are you talking
But y'all ain't listening, man.
What are you talking about?
That's your
First
problem,
of all, the bricks that you, wait. Let's get this straight.
Oh, you was there for that.
Let's get
Ali Muhammad.
Let's get this straight, right? You're telling me that because some writing is on the wall, which I agree, and I agree with a lot of the translations that was there. However, they ran a big game on us when it comes. Wait. It's a big game being ran on the translation of the Quran and the translation of all of these different things and how we can prove it. One, those people are no longer existing on that part of the planet of Egypt. Those people have been dispersed. They've been lost in knowledge. So what you're doing is bringing European translation, and they translating it from the Rosetta Stones, and they passing it to the scholars, and they teaching it.
So is Dr. Ben a European?
And they teaching that.
Is Dr.
No,
Ben
but he learned from the Europeans. You know it. You know it. Seti already said it.
Brother,
I got Seti on tape. You do too.
Hold on, we can dismiss this.
Gerald Massey, yes sir.
You went to public school.
Sir.
Does that take away from your consciousness as a black man?
It did.
Certain things.
It did. Yes, it did.
You went to public school. Are you going to
That's
tell
why I
me?
didn't have consciousness.
Are you going to tell me that which was given to you throughout the years of your going to public school? You can't qualify some of that information as a great end result.
I already said that.
What about
We
the
agreed there. I
So,
said I
so the
agreed.
point is,
Hold on,
why take away from Dr. Ben or any of the other
first of all,
scholars?
I ain't take away from nobody.
If
What
they
I
had
said.
this-
What
What I
about John
said.
James Jackson? That's a European. What about Gerald Mason? What about him?
Fact one. Fact one. For whatever reason, the people that live in Kemet, in Egypt, they are no longer, no more, haven't been for thousands of years. Fact number one. Number two, if you're going to tell me that somebody's going to understand this culture, those customs, and what they really believe, and then the great devil, the white man, come in, give you a translation of it, and you just take it and run. Now, if he know language, you know for a fact that you ain't going to be able to take those languages, even Semitic language, and translate word for word as they do.
Teach,
This
black
is
man.
one.
Teach.
Number two, if you're talking about people coming in such as Gerald Massey and telling us, oh, this is what it meant there, who also was an atheist, and they taught against religion as if the Egyptians didn't have religion, but when we do look at Kemet, we see them preparing themselves for a burial. We see them preserving their bodies. We see them bringing in spells in the Annie papers and putting those spells on so when they get to the afterlife, they can, you know, outweigh the scales and show that they did more good, so on and so forth. So which shows me,
Where do you think they get that?
hold on,
Where do you
which
think the
shows
Quran
me
and all that come
that
from?
these people themselves understood there was something outside their self. And when they died, they wanted to get there. So this contradiction.
Let me ask you a simple
Go ahead.
Does Allah ever tell you to study the previous scriptures behind it? Did he ever say that?
Yes.
Now, my question is this for you religious people. Why y'all be hating on Kemet so much?
No.
Why y'all hate Egypt so much?
I don't.
Because, hold on. Because their scriptures always tells them to go back to the previous scriptures. The Quran says this.
Right.
But they omit Egypt. Like, that is not the founder of all or
Don't throw me in. Don't throw me in.
Well, this is the thing. Every time we start talking about Egypt, y'all make reference to the people that died, but not the information that lives. And what I mean by that is this. Egypt, amongst all these other doctrines out here.
Don't the Bible say do not uphold
Which
the
wasn't his
Egyptians?
name.
Don't the Bible say do not uphold the Egyptians?
Yes, it does.
But listen to this.
So what is it
But
talking
listen-
about?
I'm not begging on
Where did
Egypt.
Jesus, where did
Y'all
Moses,
saying I
where
am.
did Moses learn all his wisdom from?
The Egyptians.
Egypt. We know
Where did
that.
Jesus learn his wisdom
Hold on,
from?
hold on.
Where did Mary run for refuge?
I'm not begging on
Where
Egypt.
did Mary run
I'm
for
not
refuge?
begging on my people.
that's all I want to
I'm not begging
No,
on my
but
people.
this is the thing.
I'm telling
But
truth.
you're saying,
Go ahead.
you're talking like, well, the people no longer exist, so basically now we got Islam.
We got it from the white man.
Understand these
And we got Islam. now.
Understand these
No,
two
we ain't
things.
getting that.
Hey, you ain't get Islam from this pale Arab man?
No, sir.
The
The
Islam
Prophet
that you
Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was black. Period.
Listen,
Period.
let me talk to you, brother. Let me talk to you real
The
quick.
Quraysh was black. Period.
Let me talk to you
Go
carefully.
ahead.
Let me talk to you very carefully.
Go ahead.
Where you got your information from was not given to you by the originators of it. By the time y'all got Islam,
That's not-
it was already repackaged for you.
Wait. So stop right there.
It's already
So how
repackaged.
can you all say that we ain't get it from the original?
Huh? Say it again,
And then it's been
Say it again,
repackaged.
brother. Say it again.
The original started with who? The Prophet Muhammad. The Quran, right?
Yes, go ahead.
So
He's
if the original
he's the purported receiver.
Right. He's right. So if he is the one that brought the Quran and had his sunnah, then he already passed it to the people. Now, yes, did it get mixed up and swapped in and swapped out with ideology? Of course.
Polite.
But this the thing y'all don't want to know
I'm
is
listening.
that you have different factions and sects of Islam.
That's true.
So you have what the prophet prophesied himself and said that after the
See,
Tabi'in.
those is
Wait, hold
phony
up.
prophecies,
Hold up.
man.
It's a fact.
After me,
It's
there will
a
be
fact.
a
After the
multitude of
Tabi'in
different
and the
types of this religion.
Tabi'in,
Let's give
this is what I'm
our
saying.
ancient culture a facelift
Right,
to
there you go.
include themselves in it.
There you go.
And now we got to go to them for reference
Did you
points.
say you 75% Nigerian? Did you say that?
Yeah, that's
Nigerian?
called a DNA test.
Right.
That's not a doctrine.
So wait.
Doctrine,
so how you connected with those Egyptians? I don't understand.
I said, you see? Hold on. Stop.
Nigerians.
Hold on, let him
Let me answer the question.
Those that's closest to that bloodline of Kemet are the people in Sudan.
Let me answer the question.
Go ahead.
First of all, the people that you call the Igbo, or some call the Igbo, those people were people that migrated from Egypt over there into that West African region, first of all. So if you're going to ask me about these people, we have to do the research on it. So one, and second, and number two.
So you like the Israelites?
Hold on, bro. Let me.
The Israelites?
No way. But
the Israelites say,
can I talk to you?
Go ahead.
Can I talk to you?
Go ahead.
When, during this conversation, I have to go through this with the Israelites too. At what point in this conversation did I say I traced my bloodline to ancient Egypt?
No. I didn't say that.
So what are you asking
wait.
What are you getting excited about with Egypt?
Because you're saying, oh, you're sitting here talking about these Egyptians, our people, but you from Nigeria, sir. I don't understand.
I'll explain it to you.
Go ahead.
Teach, bro.
First and foremost, those people that we call the Igbo, or the Igbo, or the Igbo, depending on how people like to pronounce this stuff, those people are Egyptians that migrated into that West African region. One. So when I say I did my DNA test and 75% of my blood traced me back to who they were called, hold on, brother. 75% of my blood would trace me back to who they called.
The haplogroups.
Hold on, brother.
Nigeria and
Can you
Egypt?
let me talk, brother?
Okay.
Can you let me talk, brother?
Go ahead.
When I say 75% of my blood lineage takes me back to Nigeria, that tribe of what they would call today, Negroes today would call them the ancient Hebrews, or may even dare call them philosopher for whatever reason. What I'm telling you, brother, is that what we're doing now, you're demurring so much that we are losing sight of the fact. My thing is this: I have the right to study what I feel can cultivate me, in essence.
Right.
Now, this is what I've realized. Right. And this is why I say religion is no good for our people, the religions that our people are practicing, because it doesn't give homage to the woman that it used to worship. It doesn't get, hold on, my brother.
Go ahead.
Because y'all always making these dome-shaped buildings with the little nipple on top. And then we're going to turn around and say that y'all are not giving reverence to the woman. You know why it sounds absurd to say Muslims giving reverence to the woman? Because there's so much misogynistic practices taking place today in Islam that we couldn't even conceptualize how could we highly revere the female. What I'm telling you, my brother, is that by the time the black man and black woman today in America receives the religion, it has been so diluted, so compromised, that we are so far away from our culture, it doesn't work for us. So this is why every generation, even when it looks like we got momentum, the shit stops and we become many factions. Why? Because we don't even understand what we're studying. And even as we have this conversation, religion makes people insecure to answer common sense questions. Common sense questions that you can easily just give an answer to without feeling insecure and say, you know what, that's true. You know what? Islam is only 1,400 years old. But you know what you're going to do? You're going to give us the word Islam, and you're going to say it means peace, and peace been existed prior. That's what religious people do. We know damn well we talking about the religion, the institution that got the people over here arguing with each other. Religion makes you buck dance like that. So we just saying, when I say give reverence to Egypt, give reverence to the woman, I'm saying that was our way of life, and you ain't going to really find that the way that those religions are being taught today. But if we go and we do a comparative study on ancient cultures, okay, in respect to the religions that people are engulfed in today, then what we'll realize is all the secrets that they're hiding from us as a people about the woman and about ourselves in general as a black race. And this is why we normally refer you back to ancient Egypt, primarily because, not because we're saying we're related to them, okay, but because that they left so much records for us, because when we go into religion, conveniently someone gets taken by a cloud. Conveniently, a ship the size of a whole damn state. We can't find a piece of wood. The closest thing people have been able to find from religion is a potato that might look like Jesus, or a carving on a damn tree.
Notice you never going back to the Quran, but you're going back to the Bible. That's what you refer to,
I'm going
not
back
the Quran.
to ancient
not
Egypt.
The Quran.
I'm going back to ancient Sumer.
Culture.
But those are baby cultures.
Culture
and craftations.
Culture is always subject to change, for one.
No problem.
Now, number two is,
but the lies must stop.
Wait. Number two is, you're talking about the culture of our people, but if you look at people such as Mansa Musa, for one, Timbuktu, that went through many different stages, many different cultures. They had Christianity, the Israelites, and they had Islam. When they had Islam, they went to go conquer in Spain. that showed power of Islam. Those kings always migrated to the pilgrimage, so on and so forth. Now, if you're going to sit here and say that we have to connect with our people, first thing is we need to get a DNA test and find out what people do we actually come from.
That's cool.
Because
I'm with that.
the Nigerians today, the Ghanaians today, and Sierra Leone today, their culture is now Islam for the most part. For the most part, their culture is Islam.
Colonization.
So, wait.
That's from colonization.
No, first of all, you're wrong on that. That's not correct. It's some colonization took place from the Arabs when it comes to those countries, but those countries been there from the beginning of Islam.
Are you saying that these people had no way of life prior to the Quran?
No, what I'm telling you is, that's not what I said.
What were their way of life?
Wait, that's not what I said.
So how, no, this is what I want to know.
That's not what I said.
What was their way of life, and what compelled them to change their way of life?
Beloved,
You know, look, am I going to convert you? Am I going to stop you from being a Muslim today, right now? No, it's not going to be easy, because you stuck in your way. You in your way.
Go ahead.
You into Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's what you do.
One day, though.
You feel me?
I'm already woke.
I was there.
I'm already woke.
No, we know you into
I'm already woke.
So listen, brother, this is what I'm saying. If I come with that Quran and a sword in the other hand, that shit might get you to start bowing down to my God. But if I just say, I try to
But
converse
this is what I'm
with
saying. You never reference the scholars, such as Sheikh Antidia, that brought you in to the information that says this is not what really happened. And these are lies.
I don't want to reference Sheikh Antidia.
W.E.B. Du Bois. I mean, come on, man. There's so many
I
different
want to
references.
reference common sense. All I ask you is this.
Go ahead.
What were the people doing prior to Islam? Because
Many
Islam is a
different
baby
things.
religion.
It was never one different thing. If you look at if you look at the Nubians, I'm gonna give you an example.
What
If you
were
look
black
at the
people
Nubians,
into?
700 BC, you can see on their pyramids, they and the Egyptians was going back and forth in cultural warring. For one,
I got you, brother.
to the point where they took guys and placed their guys behind or in front of the Egyptian guys.
Let's use
so on
chronology.
and so forth.
Let's use
so on
chronology.
and so forth.
Let's use
so
chronology.
this shows.
Go
shows
ahead, brother.
that black people have always had that conflict with the culture. We ain't get to. This is what we ain't get to. We have. Let me name just 5 quick things. We have subprime loans, which we know about, right?
Yes, brother.
During 2008, when that first recession hit, subprime loans was given out to over 50% of black people, right? And this is where the interest rate would be 20, 30, 40, 50% even.
Hey, peace, brother.
50% even,
Come on,
right?
brother.
The Hebrews are running. Hebrew running scared.
Yeah, because y'all don't want to bang with these Muslims. Y'all know we tear that up. But anyway, y'all people were big religion and whatever. Look, subprime loans, wipe black people out, had their homes being confiscated and taken from them. But what does Islam say? If we understood the moral code and the legislation and the law, we wouldn't even dealt with the interest in the first place. If we're looking at the destabilization of our families, if we was looking at the moral code of the Holy Quran, which is the renaissance and the new manifestation of what we call ma'at, you know what I'm saying? Then we wouldn't be in the situation that we are in. So therefore, you heard what I said, Islam is the renaissance and the rebirth of what we call it ma'at. Period. Wow. Because you're trying to never brought up any of our social ills and the solution to those social ills other than let's get money. That's it.
Now, where's the conversation that we
But hold up. When you're talking about bringing the black woman up to some pedestal, listen closely. The first thing is her man must be up in the pedestal, because otherwise she gonna return back to being the booty that she is today. In general, spoils of war. So there's no way we should allow our black woman to be some pinnacle or some god where the black man is somehow under her, but yet they should collaborate with one another. And
who keeps teaching that we are, because it sounds like you're making this in reference to me.
Yeah, I'm making it in reference to you.
And this is what I'm saying. Whenever I give praise, only reason I identify the black woman as God.
I love my wife.
Hold on. I didn't say that. You see, this is the problem.
Right.
When I say I worship the black woman, y'all, and I say she's God, y'all automatically feel like I'm putting y'all down.
I ain't saying you're putting me down or the men down. I'm saying you shouldn't put them up.
Now,
that's what I'm saying.
We shouldn't put the woman up. Listen.
Don't put her up. That's right.
Listen, brother, this is insane, and this is why.
No, it's insane that our men is not up and taking care of our women and our children, and we allow our women to become the booty of the damn clown.
If you go in the Quran, you're going to see that you have an Elohim, you have an Allahumma, you have an Allah, you have an Allah. What we're saying is this, and it's in the book. What we're saying is this: you have
more names that was taken out because
who took these words out?
There was idol worshipers. There was idol worshipers.
And whose decision was it to take these gods out of the book?
The women.
First of all, look.
The women. Whose decision it was to take out the women?
First of all,
the women version to Allah.
The women are in the Quran, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not male nor female. If you understood it.
Do you have a?
If that power is not male or female,
do you have?
Because it says Kulhu Wallahu Ahad. Hold up. No, Allah is not everything. Kulhu Wallahu Ahad. Say He is Allah, the one, the independent, the salt of all. He begets not, nor is He begotten. He's not born. He's not. He don't need anything. And what's the last part? And there is none like unto Him. This is the claim of the Quran. As far as the woman is respected, the woman is adored, the woman has her place. In the Quran, the woman has her place.
Let me get a question.
In her place, so on and so forth. Of course it is. Of course it is.
Let's ask a question.
All unique.
Of course it is.
Does a righteous...
But why we ain't talking about social ills and what we can do to clean it up?
Does a righteous...
Why we ain't doing that with the Quran?
First of all, we know that Allah is in the Bible in dual form. We know in plural, beyond dual, we know in masculine, and we know in feminine. And this is yet to be addressed. But now we're going to ask you another question, my brother. This is going to ask a very, very simple question that we was trying to ask earlier. What were we as a people doing? What were we as a people doing prior to being kidnapped and then enslaved? And does that have any relevant significance to this conversation in regards to, is Islam the religion of our people? Listen to the sentence. Is Islam the religion of our people? Now, I want to ask people, if you've been kidnapped, your language has been taken from you, your culture automatically was taken from you.
Polite.
Now we wind up with Christianity and Islam. Are these our ways of life?
Hell no.
Wait.
So, now my question is, what were we doing prior?
Good question.
What were we doing prior, and do we ever intend to go back? Because when I look at our history doesn't have its inception in slavery. When I look at our history has its inception with us being rulers, with us being great. With there's not no record. If you go to ancient Egypt, do you see any records? And I'm asking, let me ask you a question.
Was Egypt the only place where we had culture and are we doing the same thing?
No, it's not.
Of course not.
Let me finish speaking.
Of course not.
No, it's not. But
so your argument is already irrelevant.
No, it's not irrelevant.
Go ahead, brother.
If I start talking to you about 20 different types of cultures right now, we'll be all over the place, because inside of every conversation we have, you take us to another conversation. You even took us to subprimes. So this is what I'm trying to tell you. I'm going to stay with Egypt for now, just so we can stay somewhere on a flat scale, because at some point...
we're on a flat scale.
Listen, at some point we're going to divulge into other conversation, so I'm going to try to keep it as relevant to the core premise. So I'm going to use Egypt again, and I'm going to ask you something. Do the Egyptians have any recordings of disease? Do you know this or not? I'm just asking.
Yes, they do.
Where?
Yes, they do.
Where?
Well, first of all, I don't have all the references on me as far as...
No, if you can make the accusation, you know what you're talking about.
Be quiet for a minute. Be quiet for a minute. Be quiet for a minute. I don't have that reference, but I tell you who do. I speak to Brother the God Killer, who bear witness to it. I spoke to Brother Ngozi, who also bear witness to them having diseases such as diabetes, such as syphilis, so on and so forth.
They had diabetes back then.
So,
I want you to calm down.
But you know what?
I want you to calm down. This is what I'm asking you, brother.
If we could, if the day comes, I guarantee that'll be all destroyed.
I just want to ask you a question.
When the information
before we go too far and we start arguing if there was such a thing as disease back then, that's not my point.
Go ahead.
So let's not go there.
So why didn't you bring it up then?
You cut me off so you wouldn't know.
Oh, go ahead, beloved. Go ahead.
So the point is this. I was going to ask you a series of questions and ask you, do you think it even equates to what black people are subjected to today in this present day and time? That's what I'm going to ask you one. Because one thing we all agree to, we had a way of life prior to this. And if you think that we was running around rampant homosexuals with high blood pressure and diabetes,
hell no.
So now what I'm saying is, what were we doing then? Did we have mass records of raping going on all throughout Egypt?
No.
I'm not talking about during invasion. I'm talking about pre-dynastic Egypt extended until the acquisition comes in, until the colonization comes in. All I'm saying is this. What were we doing prior? And do we ever intend as adults to say if it wasn't broke, why try to fix it with Islam? Why try to fix it with Christianity? What I ask you, what were we doing prior to Islam, prior to Christianity? Second part of the question.
Let me answer the first one.
Hold on, second part.
Do the first one first.
But let me. No, I want you to add it on. It's not difficult.
Go ahead.
The second part of the question is this, brother. If you were kidnapped, if you were kidnapped and your language was taken from you, and then someone teaches you how to read and what to read, and today you are a Muslim and today you are a Christian, is it logical to say that these are our religions, or is it logical to say that this is foreign to us?
Okay, listen, before an invasion, for one, I use an example of Timbuktu, which we know, Mansa Musa, Sunni Ali, those Moors were before any cracker came in and took them out off their square, they converted to Islam. Period.
You said converted.
Wait.
What were they prior?
Also.
You said converted.
Just see, when you're saying what were they prior, some of them were Yoruba, some of them was metaphysics, some of them was voodoo, they had many different ways of expressing their spirituality. For one, there was no centered way where we said the whole continent of Africa believed in metaphysics.
Do you know?
So is that what you're trying to tell us?
No. Do you know what religion comes out of Yoruba?
What are you talking about?
Do you know what religion comes out of Yoruba?
No, I don't. Educate me, bro.
Christianity. Christianity comes out of Yoruba.
So if Christianity comes out of Yoruba, then that still means that it derives from black people. So wait. So if we're going to say Christianity came from Yoruba, which is an African religion, so therefore we got to say that this religion is of our people anyway.
No.
Period.
Why are we taking
when it was soft? Christianity is a black religion, but it was twisted when it was given back to us. Okay, so don't disagree because you're saying the same thing. But what I'd like to ask,
but we don't agree on Islam being
but what I'd like to ask you, Polite, is because I didn't get the answer when you asked him what were we doing before. I don't know exactly what we were doing, but I'm sure it was right. It was many different things. It was holistic, whatever it was. So what's your suggestion, that we go back and go back to Kemetic religions or Yoruba religions? Or
this is what I'm talking about. If we go,
you gotta pick one.
Right.
I'm gonna show you how it works, brother. You see, you in a religious state of mind.
Go ahead.
You see, when I say what
we all are.
Now let me
we all are. According to definition, we all are.
Hold on.
According to the definition, we all have a religion. According to the definition of religion.
You said that 4 times. Now let me finish.
Chess.
But
and that's your religion.
Now let me finish this,
That's
brother.
your religion.
When I say
you have one.
I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna
so
show
when you bang on religion, you banging on your chest.
Let me show you the psychology. Hold on. Let me show you the psychology of the religious world today. If I were to ask somebody, right, what were you doing prior to going to school? They wouldn't be thinking what God was you worshiping in that context. I said, what were black people doing prior to being kidnapped and their language being taken away? And the first thing he wants to do is think about God and another doctrine. Hold on, brother. That's why I asked you about the food, but you cut me off. So now I'm going to show you something. What were we eating? Because I'm going to show you something. Religion, right, doesn't cover all these things.
Right.
You feel me? But our way of life, our culture we had. What were the ancient?
Quran does.
Hold on. I hear you, brother.
Quran covers everything?
Everything.
Yo, listen.
all right.
Hold on. I got a question. You make subscriptions to the Nation of Islam?
No, I make some restrictions. I'm a Muslim of the Ahmadi faith.
Do you eat bean pie?
No.
Do you eat beef?
Yes.
I don't want to do this to you, but I got to do it. No. I don't want to do this.
We know
to
he
you,
loves
man.
the most honorable.
Remember when you debated Ali Muhammad?
I didn't accuse you, brother.
Go ahead.
I didn't accuse you.
Go ahead.
So I said we.
Come
I didn't
on,
accuse
we playing
you.
these games.
I'm not playing.
Wait, we play these games.
We never got to answer
with the people.
Let me show you something.
That's not
I had a
playing
question.
the game.
No, let me show you. I had a question, right?
Go ahead.
It wasn't answered. And then the sister said, Brother Polite, what I want to ask you, because the question wasn't answered when I asked you. She said, I want to ask you the question you asked him.
Go ahead,
Which
Polite,
I did
go ahead.
answer.
And now,
What she said I did after we went over there.
but there was a discrepancy. There was a discrepancy.
Right. So I answered.
So when I asked, what were we doing?
Go ahead.
Prior to being kidnapped.
What was we doing, Polite?
Prior to having our language taken from us, prior to being
Muslims.
Hold on, brother. Prior to us being re-educated, prior to us learning how to read, prior to us being told what to read when we learned how to read, I simply said, what was we doing? And my brother automatically, in a religious mind, alluded to another form of worship. This is what religion does. But we had a way of life that people made out into religion.
That's right.
We was just living our lives and niggas made religion out of it. Some people saw our clothes and made it into garbs. Some people saw our food and made it into religious laws. Some people saw our moral systems and turned that into commandments. But us, we just live a simple way of life, and everybody saw it was deep and profound, and they took Tai Chi. And they took martial arts.
That's a lie. So the lie detector says that's a lie.
Listen, brother. Lie detector says.
Wait.
So let me just finish the point. Let me just finish the point, brother. Let me just finish the point, brother. Let me just finish the point.
Go ahead.
Let me just finish the point. What I'm saying is this. You see, today we have a gang culture.
They just live.
My brother, hold on.
Right, that's what you say.
Today we have a gang culture. Is that a religion? No, it's not. Today we have a hip hop.
Yes, it is a religion.
Okay, I know what you want to do. I'll keep going forward because I know you know what I'm talking about. I won't play like that. Today we also have hip hop culture. Is that a religion? No, it's not. And we know what we mean by religion is subscribing to a certain God in particular and everything like that. So what I'm saying is today we have what we call soul food, and it was consistent of mac and cheese and yams and all this other shit. And what I'm saying is, in our pristine state, in our way of life, the original man, us, original woman, would not even be eating so much as a white potato because 75% of us can't even break it down. The original man and woman would not have even been drinking milk because we are lactose intolerant by nature. And these things don't exist in Africa. The original man and woman was not beseeching protein in Africa. We didn't even have a context. Hold on, brother. Just listen to me. Now you need to listen to me. Listen to me. First of all, there's different types of protein. So the type of protein that we beseech through chicken.
But you said we didn't acquire protein.
Listen,
that's what you said, but we did.
We didn't. Okay. We didn't. You know why? Because our main.
We didn't get protein.
No, we did use protein. We did use protein, but we didn't beseech it the way we do today to say we got to eat chicken. And
they ate protein. That's get that right.
Yes, brother. Come on, brother. They took in protein. They didn't eat protein per se, but they took it in. But the point is this: today in this culture, we learn we need iron. But guess what? For instance, anemia comes in, which is an adaptive disorder, which is when the body creates a defense mechanism, parasites, okay, to protect itself. It's an adaptive disorder that comes about from us being changed geographically. If you do enough research, you'll learn we wouldn't even have anemia in certain geographical locations. So what I'm saying is this: by being taken out of our culture, we were stripped away from the conventional foods we would eat, the conventional weather we would have, and this would bring about insanity. And the proof of this is this: when you go to a zoo, they work very hard to simulate their environment the same way that the animals used to live in. So if that animal lives with its parents, it brings the parents. If the lion is used to being in a relatively warm environment, they make sure they simulate the same environmental patterns, because if you don't give that lion or you don't give that bear a similar scenario in which it used to thrive, it will go crazy. So when we dealing with religion today, it's making us go crazy because it doesn't make subscriptions to the way of life we had. So, and the religion doesn't reference the way of life we had because it comes after the way of life we had. So you see how a Jew can eat collard bread on a Sabbath.
No, that sounds good, but check this.
It sounds good.
It sounds good. It sounds good. Yeah, it sounds good. Let me tell you why.
Sounds good.
Let me tell you why it sounds good. Let me tell you why it sounds good.
You gonna get this work.
When you look, yeah, he gonna get this work. He gonna get this work. When you looking at my eye, they have inscriptions that they call coming forth by day or night. The book of the day.
That's right.
So these people are saying these are the negative confessions that we follow. I have not stole, right? So on and so forth. So for him to imply that somehow that was systematic. That's not the way you just saying we were just living it, we didn't record it, we didn't put it together, and we didn't have common customs and goals. No. The problem is that we have to understand that the cultures change from place to place, for one.
We were taken from place to place.
But before
anybody kidnapped, not us.
Before anybody kidnapped,
we didn't call it the negative confessions. That was the Greeks.
The negative confessions.
We called it the book coming forth by day and by night.
I just said that. So why are you saying it again? When you look at that book, these people had inscriptions to the afterlife. So what are we talking about? What are you trying to say? So it shows us that
what I'm trying to say is that Islam is a slave religion. It teaches you how to be a slave. Look at it.
We always evolve.
When you want to speak, you want to say your name in Arabic.
It's evolution,
when you dress up, you dress like you're on a fucking desert somewhere. You walking on concrete. Not you. Now, but look at
Millions of Muslims don't do that.
Goddamn beard.
All Muslims don't do that.
Trying to stick, yo.
All
You
Muslims
cannot
don't
hide
do
yourself
that.
from somebody else's
What about
culture.
this?
talking about?
The devil pulling on their legs. Remember
Right,
this one?
right.
Muslims.
Come on, man.
Look,
you
that's
walking up
somebody
and down
else.
here in Harlem
Look.
with a goddamn sheet wrapped around you like you a damn Arab.
No, you telling somebody else that.
Come on, brother.
You telling somebody else that.
So-
this is what I'm saying.
so how come
this
y'all
the
don't
problem,
follow it?
This the problem
How come
with
you're
our
not following
so-called conscious community. Because we're going to use one thing and try to manipulate it and mold it into something it doesn't have to be. Do I agree that we were kidnapped and brought here, knowledge stolen, language stolen, all of that? We understand that. That's obvious. But for you to say,
What about the Arabs?
wait, but for you to say,
What
what were we before? I
What were
already
we
established.
doing?
Do
Not
you
what were
agree
we-
that the Arabs
I
enslaved
already-
our people
I
and raped our
already-
mothers? You
Yes,
agree to
that took place,
And they,
yes.
they said,
The
they
Arabs.
said, Salam
In
alaikum.
the name of Allah.
Do you,
The
in the name of
Arabs.
Allah, right?
Brother.
In the name of
And
Allah.
he said there's no racism
See, you
in
ain't answering
Listen,
it.
Now hold on.
Listen.
He said there was no racism
said
in
there was no
Islam,
racism.
but now he agrees that they enslaved us.
Listen.
Right.
If
I'm sure slavery has something to do with
everybody
racism.
knows the Quran says don't eat pork. Everybody knows the Quran says don't eat pork.
getting cut,
If
bro.
I go get a pork sandwich,
When
you gonna
step-
say, oh my
when you
God, look
step
at that
up against
Muslim
the house of
following the
consciousness,
Quran.
You gotta get ready, bro.
Look at that Muslim following the Quran. If the Quran says don't enslave, if the Quran says don't eat that pork, for example, and I eat it, how you gonna say Muslims eat pork? It don't make sense. It's not logical. It's not logical. And especially Dr. York himself used Islam. So let's stop playing games.
And he
with
came
the
out of it
essence.
too.
Right.
Yeah, he
And it
came
was-
out of it. He
and
went a whole nother other
now,
places
now
too.
listen,
But
if you
probably
want to
should've
talk
stayed
about
with that
Dr.
Islam.
York, you see, they act like they don't watch my videos. They act like they don't study my life. But then they say, oh, you doing so my money. We ain't had a money conversation. You said that while you was talking to somebody.
Right.
Now you said, Dr. York, because I'm getting under his skin.
No,
Now, let me
no.
tell you, hold on,
Go
brother.
ahead.
Let me tell you something. If you, since you brought Dr. York up doing Islam when he was practicing as Sayyid al-Imam Isa al-Hadi al-Mahdi, then understand this. It was a school of thought. Dr. York always told us, don't get caught up in religion. Some niggas always got left back. But he said it was a school of thought because we're a part of all. We study everything. You won't know where you belong until you study everything that your spirit gives you an inclination towards. If you stay inside of only one book, you cannot rest assured that this is the truth. But if you study everything and make comparative studies, then you can find some level of contentment.
But that's the teaching of the Quran. That's the teaching
but
of the
I just saying,
Quran.
you tried to put something out there about Dr. York.
What do you mean, no?
You
The
try to put
Quran-
something out
the
there about
Quran
The
Dr.
says-
Quran teach everything, right?
The Quran said,
Do the
hold on,
Quran
real
teach
quick.
everything?
Yes.
It also
Tomorrow
teach
I'll be in
open
the
heart
National
surgery,
Black
right?
Theater, about
If you want to
3
get
blocks
somebody
this
open heart surgery, you got to get out of the Quran. Hold up, brother. You got to
you
come
can-
out of the
you can read it
Quran
right there.
and you got to go get you a medical book, right?
First of all, this is what
So
I'm saying.
therefore, the Quran don't teach
No,
everything.
this is what I'm
brother.
saying.
Come on,
When
man.
look, you're saying if you're going to say literally, it teaches
Yeah,
you
but
how
I'm
to.
trying to prove to you
This
that
is what
the
I'm
Quran
telling you.
don't teach
It does,
everything.
and I must explain how. First of all, the Quran expresses to understand religious knowledge as well as secular knowledge, and therefore the Quran also says the Jews, the Sabians, and those that do good,
Do the Quran
they will
teach
get
you
their
open heart surgery?
they will get their award with
You ain't
Allah
answered.
subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Do the Quran teach
The
you open
Quran
heart
teaches you
surgery?
to go study heart
This is
surgery.
what we
Do the
need.
Quran
It
teach
teaches
you how to
to
eat?
go study
Do it
it.
teach you how to eat?
Yes, it does.
Like what?
Yes, it does.
What
Like
tells
what?
us to eat?
What it tells us to eat?
I mean, it's the whole concept of halal food. I mean, everybody knows that, man.
What, cut the
How you
animal
eat
head
with the-
off so the adrenaline don't rush so you don't eat the poison?
So is that the only thing that makes
The
a
Quran
food-
teach you how
Hold
to
up.
eat meat.
Halal is
The Quran
it
tells you
does.
to eat meat.
It does.
But we all know that meat is not good for you.
That's a lie. The cracker meat nowadays is not good for you. Our people been eating meat for centuries, man.
Doesn't mean it's right
Tons
now,
and
brother.
tons and
What people
thousands
are
of
you
years.
talking
about?
Hold
Also
up.
tell you to drink
But
milk.
wait, you go back 50
The
years.
Quran also
Wait,
tell you to
you
drink
go
milk.
sit back 50 years before everything was genetically modified and cloned. Our grandparents were living long lives.
Let me ask you a question.
Long lives.
Let me ask you a
100
question.
years,
No,
110 years, 90 years old.
So
you ain't gonna tell
does
me
a righteous
that our
Muslim-
people live long lives and then all of a sudden, when genetically modify and come into place of GMOs,
We got you.
this is what caused
Does
the
a,
food to
does
go
a
bad.
righteous Muslim
Period.
get to have 72 wives when he dies?
Laugh. We don't consent to that.
You don't consent to that.
No.
Where's that at?
That's in the Ahadith.
Do you follow the hadith or you take what you like and leave some stuff out?
First of all, the Quran itself helps you establish what to accept and what not to accept.
Do you-
Wait.
do you-
Anything.
He ain't asked you that,
anything-
brother. He asked
No,
you something else.
listen and learn, man. Listen and learn. Anything that's contrary to the primary book, what is the Quran, we don't accept it.
So you don't deal with the hadith
if
at all?
No. If it
So you deal with some of the
contradicts-
hadith?
If it contradicts what the Quran says, which is the main source, that's how we say we reject that, because the Quran says something different.
So now I'm asking you another question.
Go ahead.
This is a very serious book, because the Quran is a serious book, because this is what you
Go to it. Go to it,
No,
please.
that's a serious book.
We ain't been in it yet.
Because this is your faith, so it's a serious book. So now what we're going to talk to you about is any book that talks about that serious book. Do you follow hadith or not? And if you find contradiction in hadith, why would you still follow hadith? Because they are lying against Allah's word. Why would you follow a book in any essence if it already has contradiction based on what Allah says?
Well, you better turn it up, man. You know this going on Black News 102.
I use this like this. When you are eating food, you're supposed to eat to nourish the body. When you put the food in, your body takes what's good and it rejects what is bad. It's the same concept. So therefore, we know that there has been alteration in the hadith, but not the Holy Quran.
So who decides?
Wait. If it goes against what the Quran says. If I see a hadith that says eat pork is not hard, the Quran says pork is forbidden and it's haram, right? So if it's haram, then we know that hadith is rejected.
So why you against the Muslim? And why don't y'all believe in that? But y'all still study the hadith.
It's not consistent with the Quran.
And where is it not consistent with the Quran?
What do you mean?
How is it not consistent with the Quran teaches?
Because yeah, it's
but this is in depth. This is in depth.
Yo, your prophet Muhammad was having sex with a 9-year-old girl.
That's not true. Go to YouTube. I made the video.
That's not true?
I made the video to prove the hadith wrong. Go to
the hadith said it was wrong.
Go to.
You see,
listen.
They hand select what they want out the hadith.
Muhammad's marriage to Aisha on YouTube. Brother Bashir, you'll see. I already showed.
So you saying that the hadith is wrong?
That hadith was
that hadith.
That hadith. Yes.
Now we got two hadiths that are not good.
Right.
But he's still reading the book.
There's tons of them.
So why are you reading the hadiths if it's working against the word of God?
First of all,
why are you reading something that is making look, brother, let me tell you something.
Go ahead.
It's one thing if I read a scientific book, right? A so-called science book. And this science book doesn't purport to teach what God says, but tries to explain things based on man's comprehension and respect to his study. When I'm reading a book that professes that this is an account by my God, and I see time in and time out that there are inconsistencies, why am I reading a book that closely makes connections or associations with my God's testimony and fabricates it? It's not the chemistry book that might contradict my Quran. It's not the math book that might contradict my Quran. It is a book that says this is an appendage to what God has said.
Not true. Listen.
Why are you reading something that has lied on Allah?
See, your whole understanding of it
that contradicts
is
Allah?
Messed up. For one, the Quran, this is a perfect book. The claim of the perfect book is the Quran. The ahadith, no, I'm talking facts. You don't have to agree. What I'm saying is that it says it's the perfect book.
If it's the perfect book, we be in a perfect situation as Muslims.
Not the hadith.
We be in a perfect
That's
situation
because
as
you're teaching us to worship the black woman instead of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why.
That's because the Quran taught me that, and then I believed it.
The Quran ain't taught you that.
The Quran taught me that the woman is God.
Come on now.
Is there a lot? Is there a lot in the Quran?
Why you not naming the other names that was with them?
Because you said they took those gods out the book, didn't you?
Yes,
and I asked you, who are the people that took?
Did.
And I asked you, who were the people?
These were stones,
brother.
They wasn't people. They
so
were
we both can
stones.
listen to each other. Who are the people that decided we're gonna have to take these other gods out the book? Because I know ancient Egypt had multiple gods. I know you don't like me talking about Egypt. So now we say we gotta take everybody out and make Allah one. And Prophet Muhammad is messenger. So let me ask you a question, brother. Who are the people that decided to take all those gods out of the Quran?
Until Akhenaten came.
And who gave them the right to change God's word?
Until Akhenaten came. And said Atum, Akhenaten, Atum, he said was the one God that we gonna worship.
You keep saying until Akhenaten came because you don't really want to specify who. Now I'm asking you, who were the people that decided we need to take these words out even though it's supposed to represent Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's word?
First of all, they didn't take the words out. The words are there. But the verse that you're talking about says they took idols for worship, and there's none for worship except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So these are a couple of names.
Is Allah's name in dual form in the Quran? Is it in plural form in the Quran? Is it in feminine form in the Quran? Is it in masculine form in the Quran? And how come you get mad at me because I make subscriptions to other than just a one male God? This This is stuff your Bible teaches, your Quran teaches this. So why do you look at me like I have two heads when I say I worship a female God, when your Quran attests to a female God? It attests to your God in duality. I told you it has Elohim, it has Allahumma, it has Allah, it has a lot. So why do you look at me so deceitful as if you don't know where I'm getting this from?
First of all, you just ran a whole bunch of stuff, and let me show you how you didn't understand it. Okay. Because when you're talking about plural, Allah is not plural in the sense that you're using that word plural as we use it in English.
Okay.
So going back into Arabic, we would say this is the unity of Allah. Meaning what? Hold up.
Meaning that y'all cleaning that shit up because there's multiple gods.
No, listen.
Listen. He's saying there's more than one ultimate God. It's just that God had helpers.
Listen.
No doubt.
Right. This is why we say.
Don't be insecure.
Hold up.
You ever been to heaven?
This is why we say.
Hold
up. This is saying.
You ever been to heaven?
This is why we say La ilaha illallah. Wait, let me finish this last part. This is why we say La ilaha illallah. There is none worthy of worship except Allah. Right? Now, if
the black woman is God, man.
The black woman is not God.
You ever been to heaven?
Yes, I've been to heaven. Yes, I've been to heaven.
When you been to heaven? You ever been to heaven?
Every time I go in my black woman, I've been to heaven.
That's right.
And that's the womb of Allah.
I don't know.
I bet you shit take no ass to heaven.
You gotta get in the right thing. Once you get in the right thing, you'll feel like
you gonna say that. We gonna high five that.
Hell yeah, we gonna high five that.
To me, I feel bad for the woman because why she ain't going to heaven. She's not getting no heaven. She's not getting no heaven. Wait. When you say that sexual relation with the woman is your heaven.
Yeah.
That's what you're telling me. Now what I'm asking you, hold up. Now what I'm asking you, are you giving her heaven too?
You come out of heaven and you
are you giving her heaven too?
You spend the rest of your life trying to get back to heaven.
No. So you telling me that she's not doing the same thing?
You both going to heaven.
She's not doing the same. Okay, so hold up. So you can't just say, that's my point. You can't just say heaven lies with her. If you want to use that, it would have to be heaven lies with him and heaven lies with her. And then the two come together and make a supreme heaven. Hold up, that's common sense.
They worship the penis.
No.
Worship the penis.
First of all, no.
They don't want to give no credit to the woman.
Y'all want to make the woman.
The man told me
something that
he got no right to put her on a pedestal or put her up there. When I say the black woman is God, in dictionary reference, Merriam-Webster's dictionary, one who's in control of a specific aspect of creation.
How can a black woman be God and she's a white man?
Let him finish. He's gonna tell you.
Explain that.
Can I explain?
Please.
Because the problem that you religious people have, when I use a word like God,
you very religious, bro.
The problem that the religious people have, right? The problem that y'all have is that y'all always take us back to spookism where God is in control every single thing.
When I took you to something spooky.
Because you can't understand.
You don't understand the Quran. When I told you something spooky,
but you keep cutting me off every time I speak, brother.
Oh, go ahead.
So
I want to know what I said spooky though. Please forget.
When you don't understand what I'm saying by the black woman is God, and I said it several times, and judging by what you've been saying, I know you've been keeping up with what I be teaching from time to time. So I don't think that you don't get it. I think you don't want to get it because of what religion does. Now, what I'm going to tell you, according to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, a God is one who is in a specific aspect of creation. If you typed it into Google, you will see, oh shit, that's an exact definition. Now, that's a definition. I'm speaking English and I'm using the word based on its proper context. Yeah. Now, the woman has a 9-month gestational period. Right. The man is not walking around here with a baby in a womb. Okay? So she's in control of that specific aspect of creation. So in that regard, that makes her God. She also has this yellow liquidy fluid called colostrum fluid that she secretes that gives us our ability to socialize better than people who wasn't breastfed, a stronger immunity, better than people that wasn't breastfed, and so forth and so on. So we don't give the child anything like that. It's external when we try to impart something upon them to make them more brilliant. But she gives them something that only she can give. Something like God. The way y'all describe God, our women give us something that no one else can give us because the breast milk is designed in such a way that it caters to your weaknesses and your strengths. So if you got immunity on the strength, it will cater more to your intellect being weaker. And to balance it out, your breast milk is designed exclusively for you. It's a miracle serum exclusively for you that only the woman creates and no one else. And if someone else took that breast milk, if someone else took it, It would not be designed for them. It may nourish them to an extent, but it's not designed to bring them up to another level. Only your mother can do that to you. So when I say the black woman is God, I'm not sensationalizing religiously and saying she's in control of all this other stuff. I am saying that she is in control of specific aspects of creation, and for that, I revere her. I am glad that my mother took the time out at some point in her life to do this for me. So I say all men and a form to honor their mother, I revere her as God, and I'm not afraid, but religion has made us afraid to call each other by our true name. We would rather call each other a nigger, or we would rather call a woman a bitch, or we'll call each other by names, right? That bring us right back into our sexuality, to breed insecurity and sexuality. So we'll call each other a dickhead, we'll call each other asshole, we'll call each other pussy, and this all comes from religion. When we had sex in the garden and we got shamed. You see what I'm saying? So they made us insecure about our own sexuality. And even when you look at the word Afro, the deity Aphrodite, or Aphrodite, or Aphrodite, she was the deity of love or lust or sex. And now, whenever we get accused of a crime, it is a sex crime most times. And why? Because it's our sexuality that they're obsessed with, like the aphrodisiac, which alludes to what? It's a sexual stimulant. Afro, you hear Afro and aphrodisiac. You hear Afro and Aphrodite. You hear Afro and the word Afro, and they call out here what? Kinky, which means to hug. So what I'm telling you is this, brother. I'm revering. I'm using a substitute, but we are afraid to use the word God because religion has spooked us out. By dictionary definition, she is our God because she has provided something to us that no one else can provide in this lifetime, saves her. That is not to take away from you as a man.
I'm not, first of all, you ain't got to say
not
take away
trying
from
to take
me,
nothing from you as a man,
I understand the position of the woman. What you said, the woman is the first teacher, she's the first mother, she's the first counselor, she's all of these things. She nourishes the children.
She's your heaven.
So wait a minute. Wait a minute. But the other part of the equation, bringing the balance, is that woman also needs that man to produce.
Right.
So therefore, at the bare minimum, these two entities, these two people have to be on the same level, for one. So to say the black woman is God, you have to call the black woman the black man God. You're absolutely right, they're not on the same level, because when it comes to holding the family structure, when it comes to holding the family structure, the man in the level of hierarchy, he is supposed to be the head of the household. Why?
So I told you it's subject.
Wait, why? It's not subjugating, it's just role. It's just role. Because if you in your house and somebody busts that window, you ain't gonna say, baby, you got. You ain't gonna say, baby, you got. And the world depends on you.
Looking at
go get him. Spooky. There go the spooky shit again.
That's what he said.
No, what I'm saying
there goes the spooky shit
why
again.
Is he saying black woman God versus black woman and black man is God?
I'm gonna tell you why. Can I answer you?
You already answered.
No. I'm gonna tell you. Ask me a question.
To not do it. Wait, real quick. Is actually an attack on the man.
No.
That's what that actually
is.
So
now let me ask you a question.
Do it as an
let me ask you a question. So can you? So then look. No, I'm gonna explain something to you. So if this is the logic we're gonna use, then this means that the black woman has been under attack since the damn conscious movement, since the Black Power movement, because the black man has repeatedly been identified as God, and the woman has been identified as earth, something that you walk on. And ain't nobody bitch that the black woman is not being called God. So now everybody has learned in this conscious circle right here, I guarantee everyone has heard the black man be revered as God, or the black man is God. But when we say the black woman is God also, he always want to get in the picture. Why you don't talk about me? Because we heard my brother. I'm not going to say also. And I'm not going to say also. You know why? Because for years we have been revered as God. So you know what? We learned this shit already. But yo, how come every time I give praise to the woman and also put her in the same seat of God, you gotta feel insecure as a man and say, how come you don't mention me too?
Because he wasn't mentioned long enough.
No. What I'm saying,
yeah, evidently.
What I'm saying is, there's a yin and a yang.
I got no problem with that.
There's a yin and a yang.
You know what?
If you want to
mention both,
if you want to call one guy, you have to call the other guy.
So
that is what I said before.
Hold on, but
when you if
you said if we want to call one God, why we don't call the other God?
That's what I said.
If you want to call on the law, why you don't call on the lot?
Because first of all, the Quran don't teach that. The Quran don't teach that.
Does the the Quran got Allah in there?
Show me the verse of the Quran where it says Allah is the worship. Worship Allah. Worship Allah.
No such verse exists.
Exactly.
No such verse
Exactly.
exists.
So what are you talking about?
What does Allah mean? And it exists in the Quran.
Look, bro.
You see, you wanted to create a verse that don't exist. So I'm going to tell you that verse don't exist. But it don't change the fact that God is mentioned as a female.
What is the verse that you're talking about with Allah in it? Tell me.
They're going to pull it up and Google because I'm not going to do this no more. We're going to pull it up.
You already said.
We're not doing this no more because I know how you guys do it. So now we're going on Google now.
It's not La ilaha Allah. It's La ilaha Allah. It's Kulhu Allah.
Yeah, that's a totally different verse. That's a
not
totally
a lot. Not a lot.
That's a totally different verse.
It's Bismillah in the name of Allah, not a lot. So what are you talking about? Allah is in the Quranic verse as well as other names. But it's not
why you
telling
just made it like it ain't in the Quran?
You just said it wasn't in there.
No.
You just said it's not in there.
Listen carefully because, you know, maybe the whole religious thing you're not listening. I said a lot is not in there that you worship a lot. That's what I was saying.
And I agree.
Period.
That sentence is not in there.
Period. That's just like saying Isa's name is in there. You're supposed to worship him. It's stupid. It's redundant. It's silly.
Listen.
Yo, when you get some time, I hope we can step on that stage
brother.
one day.
Yo, man,
I hope we can step on that stage one day.
Listen, brother.
Yo,
because when we break down those verses, you better ask Unc the God Killer. When we break down that Arabic verses,
ask Unc the God Killer.
You know what I mean? It's gonna be all good, bro. You better know. You better know, bro.
All we have to do is see the reviews.
Because you just talking and mixing and matching, and that ain't cool.
You know what you're gonna do?
You would be tight.
No, listen. When I put this on YouTube, and I'm gonna put it up there without no editing, biases, none of that. You're gonna see where the people sway at.
No, he's gonna see where he was at.
Already under the ideology. They already under the ideology. But
you're talking about people that have no biased claim.
But
they
you
just
know,
right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they gonna come with me.
Okay, we're gonna see. We're gonna
for sure. Because you know what wasn't talked about? Our condition wasn't talked about. But rhetoric about
our
names.
condition was talked about. You showing our condition right now.
Yeah, I'm showing you our condition.
Yes.
Our condition is this. This is what our condition is. The destabilization of the black family. That's what we do.
Give me one. You know
what I'm saying? That's what we do.
This is what our condition is. I got my own flyer too.
But
financial freedom or spiritual incarceration.
Baba, what's up?
Read the whole verse.
And that's tomorrow.
Come
on, brother. You're a good brother, man.
But look,
you're a good brother, but the only thing you hindered at is that you're giving too much credence
you need to bring
to a baby religion.
We need to bring ourselves together. To put in this work.
Say something. Garrett, say it. There, you can. Say it loud as you can. Yo, do you hear me?
There's something about religion that keeps the man from embracing the woman and giving her the praise that she is due.
What does the Quran say about the woman? It says, in fact, the Prophet Muhammad taught that the companions asked him, you know, who's next after Allah and his messenger? He said, your mother. Well, who's after that? Your mother. Who's after that? Your mother. Who's after that? Then your father. So paradise lies under the foot of the mother. We understand that. But to use some word and to express a greatness that's outside of man. Outside of her man.
Did I not define the word?
Outside of her man and your woman.
It is outside the man. He doesn't go through a 9 months gestation period.
Brother, she has.
It is outside the man. The man doesn't breastfeed, and he doesn't have colostrum fluid to give the child everything you need to do what you're doing now.
But bro, without the two, there is not the seed.
This is the question, brother. This is what you're not understanding.
That's just like saying.
Let me explain something to you. Every time we are acknowledging the woman, you keep trying to throw the man in there as if we're throwing him under the bus.
Right, we're not doing
We're not doing that, fam. So
yes, you are. Yes, you are.
We're not doing that.
Yes, you are.
Sometimes
you are.
Sometimes.
Yes, you are.
Let me show you something. Let me show you something. If a woman,
we just like she said.
Why you just can't keep it at our women?
Let me just explain why.
Our women are the queens. Our women are the queens.
Listen, you want to use queen? No problem.
Our women have a position in the family. They are the first teachers. They are the first.
My brother.
That's what we keep.
My brother.
That's what we keep.
How come we have to call? How come we have to call the woman?
Oh, y'all taking a long time.
My brother. How come we have to call the woman a queen? And nobody said don't call those black men gods. Call them king. Where was you at? Well, we've been getting called God the whole time through all these black power movements and conversations. Why don't you have a problem with us being called God? Why you have a problem with the black man being called God in the lessons? Why you don't have a problem with that? Why you not running around telling people stop calling the black man God, call him a king?
First of all,
Why you not
if we
doing
had
that?
that conversation with somebody that had that ideology, I would approach that. But you was talking about the woman, because in order to become a god, you just don't become a god. You have to. It's a rite of passage to becoming that. So you have to be active.
So there is more than one God than Allah.
In Islam, if you want to become a manifestation of God, there's a certain rite of passage you have to get through in order to have that title.
So are you talking about the worst example of a woman or the greatest example of a woman? Why do I have to be talking about the worst example of a woman?
First of all, bro, you trying to go to something else once again.
No, I'm not. I'm trying to find out.
I'm simply saying,
this is what I'm trying to find
all
out.
the characteristics.
Hold on.
I'm trying to find out what's your
You
problem.
can call yourself a Muslim all you want. The Arabs don't respect you, and the Africans don't respect you as a Muslim. The Arabs don't respect you as a Muslim, and the Africans don't respect you as a Muslim. And you're going to tell me that there's no racism in Islam. Come on, brother. With that, I got to go.
Yo, listen, man.
I got to go.
All we need people to know, when we say the black woman is God.
Hold on, wait, where the verse at? No, get the verse. Get the verse on there.
You cannot
say,
have
don't worry, I'll post it on the damn YouTube.
Hold up. You cannot. Hold on.
Nobody first.
Yo,
You
no,
cannot.
hold on.
Wait.
Nah, I'm going to show you racism in Islam. Hold on, brother.
The white man took Egypt, took it out of Africa.
Ignore that. Listen.
Wait, took it out of Africa, right? Which we know. He took it out of Africa.
Hold on, bro.
Look, the white man took Egypt out of Africa.
We know that.
He claimed it. Yeah, we do know that. He claims that as his people.
Listen.
You don't reject that because they did that.
Listen.
So how you gonna tell me?
Hold on.
Oh,
Listen.
no, you don't reject Kemet. You don't reject Kemet because the white man had his hand on it and he claimed it for himself. So anybody that's claiming to be Muslim and they go against the Sharia, we don't include them as the Muslim.
Okay,
Period.
cool. Now, let's go in the hood. Let's go in the hood. We say that there's no racism in Islam.
It's not.
Yet, if there's no racism in Islam, how is it I can go to any one of these corner stores and they can feed me a ham and cheese sandwich and think it's okay?
And a crack pipe.
They can
And
feed me.
And a crack pipe.
They can feed me cigarettes and ham and cheese sandwiches. What the hell is that?
That's an error.
What the hell is
an error?
How could
That's an error. That's an error.
How
you try to compare the Quran with an Arab person? How you gonna do that?
You want me to answer?
You can't.
It's the Arab's
You
religion.
can't.
It's the
You
Arab's
can't.
religion.
Yo, hold on, I gotta go, bro.
That's how.
But you cannot hide yourself in somebody else's culture. You gotta accept your own and be
They
your black
stole
self.
our culture.
You gotta
They
accept
stole
your
our
own and be.
culture.
No, you
They
stole
claiming our
And you know
culture.
what?
No, you gotta.
They claiming our culture.
As far as the black woman
They're
being
claiming
God,
our culture.
as far as the black woman
And
being
y'all
God.
letting them claim our culture.
All right, listen. As far as the black woman being
Come on,
God,
man.
what we got to start doing as a
Show me
people.
one black
Hold on,
person
brother. Hold on,
that
brother.
didn't use religion
Okay.
to come up in America.
Listen,
Show
brother.
me one.
Hold on, brother.
Marcus Garvey did.
When-
Dr. York did.
Listen, when we-
Elijah Muhammad did.
When we say the black,
Malcolm X did.
when we say,
Double Jew
I'm gonna give him. I'm gonna
Nat
give him.
Turner.
Hold on. I'm
Nat
gonna give him 2
Turner,
minutes
come
to
on.
close, and I'm gonna let you close out.
yeah, you can close out.
Look. Hold on.
Close out.
I'm gonna give you 2 minutes to close, and
Yo.
then I'm gonna give him 2 minutes.
When
and he
we
close
say
out.
that-
no interruptions. Go ahead.
When we say that the black woman is God, family, please listen to us, plain and clear. She too, the word too, she too is also in control of specific aspects of creation that transcend the convention of the man's genitalia. That's one. And two, sometimes society needs to hear a black man attest to the greatness of his woman. Because if a woman does it, guess what? If I were a woman talking right now, y'all would say she's a feminist. Y'all would say that she's suppressing the black man. So now, sometimes it comes a point in our story where the black men now have to say, I bear witness to the greatness of the black woman, so she don't have to take the heat. She don't have to always take the heat. Because I swear to you, if I was a sister right now, dropping these facts and still saying over and over, I'm not trying to suppress the black man. You see what's going on with me? Imagine what they would do to our own women. So I'm a one myself. The black woman is still God, and if somebody else is breastfeeding, if you know a man out there breastfeeding you, if you know a man out there that had to protect you in her womb, okay, in his womb, if you know what a woman goes through mentally and how important it is to have her emotionally intact during the time of those trials of that pregnancy, we would then say, you know what, we have to create a situation that is supremely conducive to the setting that she has to thrive in order to produce more gods. So that's all I'm going to say. The black woman is God. Ain't nothing changing that.
Give it up for Polite, yo. All right, let's Let's let my brother here close out. Go ahead, brother Bashir.
There's no doubt that the woman is very special in her position. She's the teacher, she's the first nurse, she's the first counselor. She is the one that trains and molds the children so they can come up. But also, the counterpart, the male, has a responsibility to that woman and to those children. It is his responsibility so the children can be comfortable, can be taught. So these two people are a garment for one another. So for us to even say the black man is God but leave the woman down is wrong. For us to say that the black woman is God and leave the man down is wrong, because they both must be together. And as far as the talk about the religion has always proved itself to be, when taught properly, to be the most powerful force, in particular Islam. You go back to the Moors, Mansa Musa, you see Islam empire from black people that conquered Spain. You come into America, you look at Nat Turner, took the Bible and led the greatest revolution of all times. Christian man. You look at Harriet Tubman, Christian woman that did what she did from the scripture. You have Marcus Garvey, Christian man. They had God as in God outside of ourselves in their theme, in their motto, but they brought everyone together. Noble Drew Ali, more Islam. Dr. York, he also had School of Islam, the School of Hebrew, so on and so forth, but religion was used. You have Elijah Muhammad. Hold up. You have Elijah Muhammad. Elijah Muhammad. He also used religion, Islam. You have Malcolm X. I mean, it just keeps going and going and going. So the thing is that the legislation of the Quran is the thing that is going to definitely save us and put our men and women back where they need to be. Because right now, we're saying the black woman is God, the black man is God, but look at the condition. We shouldn't even be calling ourselves God at all.
We don't. We call each other niggas.
Hold up. Exactly, and that's what we do. But amongst this group, we're still doing the same thing and still calling yourself gods. I see a contradiction in the God talking itself until we get to a point where we understand to take care of our women, our children, our community. But the man got to stand up and provide for his woman so she can do what she got to do. And take both.
All right, let's give it up for our brother Bashir, y'all. Come on, man. That's what's up. That's what's up.
We can work with you on that.
You still gonna get this work though?
Yeah, I hope so. Because he running on that Arabic. He running on that Arabic.
There you go. That's good. I like that to show the people that we're not fighting.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying? These brothers love each other, man. We just sparring and shopping in our store.
Man. This is for the community. You see the people that come out. If they was, a lot of people would have been shopping and buying sneakers, patronizing this Caucasoid, but they stop when they hear us building, and that tell you the spirit of truth is in our people.
There you go, man.
So that's why we both being used as vessels to communicate a profound message to the people, whether we agree or disagree or not. It's putting the people on a path that's starting to reevaluate themselves and how they think. That's the whole purpose of this.
That's right.
It ain't our responsibility to make you think.
You know this, you know Ali Muhammad getting ready to go up against the Nation of Islam at the school.
Right.
You know he going
and
up against Philip Muhammad.
That's another thing.
Yeah.
I don't
Who
agree.
do you think really won that debate between you and Ali Muhammad?
Of course I did. First of all, Ali was exposed that he don't even know no Arabic, really. So he was already exposed on that. So, you know, this is what I'm saying.
What do you mean by exposed? I ain't
exposed because because he put up Arabic on the wall. And I'm like, well, read the Arabic. Well, first he put it on the board and he tried to write the word ha. Then he put the nook down in the wrong place. And I'm like, this is not the word ha. So I wrote the alphabet for him. Then he put it on the screen and he put an Arabic verse, I think it was 66, chapter 66, verse 2 or something like that. And then he was telling the people, you know, look, I can read it, hoodwinking the people. But what he did was he recognized the Arabic alphabet, and like if we put up the word baby, he say B-A-B-Y. And I'm reading the Arabic, brother? No, you're not. You're reading the alphabet.
But he did admit it that he was wrong on that when you called him out.
He said he was wrong.
But I think Ali got you, man.
No,
I mean, Ali put that work in on you, brother.
This is how he ain't put the work in. No, let's keep it real. This is how he ain't put the work in. Number one, when we're talking about Jesus, did Jesus exist? What I gave you was a few key points. One, and the Assyrians, they had a war 1700 BC. A lot of these Hebrews or Bani Israel traveled outside of the Palestine-Israel area into Afghanistan, India, and even South Africa. Now, we went through the artifacts of the temples that claim this man, Yusuf, also known as Isa, translated as Jesus. This man was in this region. We also gave you the Vishvarana, the Puranas, which said that, look, this man did live here. This man did exist here. And then to show and prove that these people existed, we got the DNA evidence and even used Dr. Wesley Muhammad, who also said that this mitochondrial DNA matches up with these black Indians, these black Afghans, and these black people in South Africa.
I noticed you like our brother Dr. Wesley Muhammad.
Oh, that's my man. That's a
you
fellow
always
Muslim.
quoting
I
him,
love
brother.
him all day.
How's
My
his
Muslim
book?
family
How's
all
his
day.
book?
Good, great.
Which one?
Great.
Which one?
God's Black Prophet, that's my favorite.
Okay.
Of course, that's my favorite.
That's what's up.
Okay, that's what's up. That's our brother.
Two.
What is he? Is he
number,
black?
Number two.
Is he black?
That has no.
Is a black man leading you to
do
God
what
when
we
you
do.
pray?
One at a time, one at a time.
What is he though? Is he black? That's all I'm asking.
Come on, man.
Is he black?
He a Persian that said, what's your, well, now still gonna bash and smash what you talking about.
So your
With
imam
what
is
Persian,
Persian.
with what Persian teacher.
Okay, now listen.
With what Persian
listen,
teacher.
now I'm gonna bring it back to the original premise.
Go ahead.
I don't
Bring it
mind
back.
building with my brothers on the street, but what they gotta understand is this: though they may not want to accept how hard I work to create a situation around me, well, all these guys keep saying, I want to debate you polite. I want to know.
Bashir ain't say that.
Can I say
Bashir
something?
ain't say that.
Okay, but you're on tape.
Go ahead.
And you asked, could I get at least 40 minutes? Even in the opening
stop
for your
about
next
it.
event.
Well, law ain't
so
say
listen,
that.
listen.
Well, law ain't say that.
Okay, good. But listen, let me tell you this. I had another brother ask to debate me. So I said, listen, do me a favor. Send me an email. Let me know if you've been married and if you've been married for at least 4 years straight. Let me know if you have any child supports out there. Let me know if you have a job. Niggas say you full of shit. I said, no, I'm not. I want to know if you headless. I don't know who the fuck you are. Send me some DVDs. Let me know if you've been interacting with people and I never heard of you. Because if you go in there as a man who got 3 child support cases, no job, no wife, you might be headless and you might make me want to choke the shit out of you when I get on stage because you might not even want to deal with the information. So I'm going to pick who I'm dealing with. So people say you arrogant, but at this level, I don't have to be hungry no more. I don't even have to debate at this level. Many people debate, and that's the only time they're gonna have a big crowd. Watch them have a lecture. People are more interested in their death than they're interested in their life. Niggas show up and pay to see them potentially die. But when they go out there and teach a class by themselves, no one shows up. Now, I'm different. I can still fill the house up by myself. So now I gotta consider the people that I'm gonna qualify their time to have this kind of dialogue because I don't know if it's even personal. So I'm trying to tell them on a business and on a social level. I'm not trying to tell him you need the money. That's his insecurity speaking. I'm not trying to say that to you, brother. I'm saying on the level that I'm at. I'm not saying that you're a small man.
All right, now you gotta let him talk. You gotta let him talk, polite.
I don't think you understand.
Let him talk, polite. Polite, you gotta let him talk.
Believe that. Whatever.
I just told him.
Look. Back to the information so
Go
we
ahead,
can educate the
Bashir.
people. So we can educate the people.
Educate.
And they can stop saying that Islam came to slay the black man.
I need to know
Let's
if he
go to
taking-
J.A. Rogers.
Is he taking sports enhancement drugs?
Let's go to J.A. Rogers.
If he take the test.
Let's go to J.A. Rogers.
What you said was that they introduced an educational system there. Well, we got an educational system in America. That don't mean that we're being educated to be free and be liberated. Being educated doesn't mean that you're being educated to work in your own interests. The education came about to get us assimilated to an Islamic society.
Maybe you ain't hear it.
Okay, read it again.
Maybe you ain't hear it. Listen, let's start with the first one I did.
Yeah, go ahead. Go. I was addressing Rodney. That's what I was addressing. What Rodney said.
Oh, so you want to go? You want to go?
Rodney, but I read Walter's work, all of his works.
Okay, look, listen again, pay attention.
Okay.
He says, at the end of it, he says, all testimony to standard of education achieved in Africa before the colonial intrusion, right?
The baby can never be more special
You
than
can
the
say
parent.
anything.
Oh my God! Go ahead, Shaka. Shaka's killing it.
Bro, you're confused.
You can say anything with no proof in your belief,
Okay,
bro.
so you say you read the Egyptian Book of the Dead.
What's the first chapter?
I don't know the first.
Oh, so then you can't talk. Like you told me, we can't talk then.
But I tell you what.
need to go down the block,
But I tell you what.
You need to go down the block.
But I tell you what.
Bro,
What I
be man
can break
enough to
down.
take what you put
What I
out.
can break down
Yeah, what you
is
break
the
down?
bull crap of so-called ancient timid. That's what I can do.
Break it down.
That's what I
That's
can
why
do.
we said.
That's what I can
And that's why we asked you.
That's what I can
That's
do.
why we gave you good advice.
Go ahead.
Not trying to disrespect you. The good advice.
Let him go in and break down the bullshit of ancient
The
Kemet.
good advice that we gave you.
Such as
Here we go.
the Jesus story.
Uh-oh, go ahead.
Such as the Jesus story.
That will win you a fight with
Let him
me.
talk. Ammunition.
Go ahead, go
I
ahead.
like this brother. I'll take you to lunch. You got, I like that.
Yeah, I like that too.
The Jesus story. Go ahead.
they say they try to make this brother try to make a comparison with Horus. Let's see if we study.
Let's see if we study
any of the Egyptian information. Let's see if we studied it a little bit. A little bit. That's not my study. Now they try to say that Horus, man, you are very forgetful. We got to pull video. They already pulled a video on you, but stuff you forgot to say. They already did it. You better watch yourself. You better watch yourself. You better watch yourself.
Whatever he said, he could prove because he wouldn't have said it. Drop it.
This is and if you didn't say it, brother, Muslims, we always ask for forgiveness if we say something that's wrong.
Y'all niggas like this up.
Yes! We got it!
Yo!
Brother. My man, you gotta let him go in, man.
That works for the 80s babies. Good job. That works for the 80s babies.
They got the wrong verse, but we still got it.
No.
What was the incorrect comparison he made with Jesus and Horus?
The Jesus Horus story.
Yo, they all celebrate.
The first thing is, if we look at the story of Osiris, Isis, and her son Horus. First of all, we see that her husband was broken up into what? 14 pieces, right?
Okay.
And then she went and put the pieces together, and then there was one she couldn't find, which was his what? His phallus, right?
No problem.
And she made a golden phallus, which is the penis, right?
Okay.
And then after she made the penis, they, of course, had intercourse, and then so-called the mystical character anyway. The mystical character anyway.
Egypt wasn't his special.
Hold on. Yeah.
So he's speculating. He's speculating.
Go ahead. Let him go.
Oh boy, I tell you.
Go ahead. So she made a golden penis.
So he
Go
doesn't know
ahead.
how to decipher the Egyptian.
And by the way, what text is this from?
He don't know how to decipher the Egyptian.
Just ask him what he represents.
Hold
on.
He said it himself.
Hold on. Ask him. Don't save him.
Yeah.
What are you referencing?
What text are you getting this from?
Because you ain't get that from Polite, even though that's how you started your
I don't know
conversation.
what text he's getting it from.
You ain't get that from Polite.
You caught the Quran.
I never taught that a day in my life. So what?
Y'all gotta let him talk, man.
Because he's making up
You tell us what
shit.
text you quoted?
Where you got it from, Sam? You ain't get that from
Story that
Polite.
he heard. First he said Polite told him. Now he about to
Polite
put him in the book of the dead.
You
Go ahead,
taking something you
Newcomer.
read.
I'll wait for y'all
What
to
you're doing
finish.
is you're taking.
Don't bail him out. Just ask one question.
Where's the story coming from?
That's what we want to know. Where you getting this information from?
First of all, look.
Is he going to answer the question?
There is thousands of renditions of that story.
You taking something you read and putting it on.
There's thousands of renditions of that story.
Hold on. I think y'all scared to let the brother get it in, man. Because the brother trying to get it in, and y'all keep cutting him off, man.
We need a source of reference.
I think they scared of you, boss.
They are.
Yeah, we scared. Y'all gotta let them get it in.
Can he answer the question?
They are.
We heard you to the question.
I don't even know why his students even talking.
Don't bail him out. Don't bail him out.
I don't even know why his students even talking.
Don't bail him out.
You know what I mean?
Listen, don't bail him out.
Because
Don't bail him out.
I wasn't talking to you, bro.
Leave it alone.
I'm talking to the brothers that's wearing that.
Leave it alone. Just see if he's going to answer where he's getting this information from.
You gotta let him talk first, and then you can.
It's been like this the whole time. This is what I'm gonna do. The brother do not want to bring the information forth. He's scared and he know he's running because he only can bang on the fairy tale Hebrews, but he don't want a real Muslim with the real knowledge and information, period. The Muslim that got the information, when he talking about religion and Islam, that's what I'm talking about. When you come against the religion, we going to have a problem with that. Now, he going to have to deal with the other stuff he deal with.
So what's your beef with Sarah Rasul said? Not beef, but...
Tell him to answer that goddamn question. Where's he getting the information from?
Where you getting your information from?
Don't do that yet. Ask him to reference.
Where you getting your information from?
I want to know where he got it.
Go ahead, let him do it, because he's looking for a bailout. Don't say that.
But he did answer it. He said you can get that from a lot of places.
Let him answer it.
I'm not wasting. Look, if he want to really do something and talk instead of, oh yeah, come on, get hype, let's run. He already put the spell on you to get you all off of what we saying, man.
Where you get the information from? Let's go in.
You get the information. Well, first of all, what places I get the information is from signing the DVDs. That's
go ahead, baby.
Number two.
Go ahead, baby.
Hold up, DVDs.
Look,
first of all,
that shit.
real quick. Come here real quick. First of all, this is my right hand.
He put that shit on you.
Wait, this is my right hand. He put me on to this information.
That's my plug. That's all.
He put me on to this information over 5 years ago.
Who are you referencing?
So
because you said POLIGHT, and I never taught that story.
First of all, you did make a comparison with.
I never taught no
gold
foul shit and all shit.
You gonna chop up the video on record. You gonna chop up the video on him again.
You can't pull up a video with me saying that. I never
he gonna be looking crazy again. I never think he gonna be looking crazy again.
I never taught that.
Period.
I never taught
Period,
that.
man.
So
don't bring that smell over here. I say la ilaha illallah, and then that is gone, man. That is gone. That is gone. And if we mess up the Arabic, we say subhanallah, brother.
Persian, Arabs, all the same.
You said the Arabs taught him well?
Taught him well.
Let's ask Imam a question. Who did he get that information from? Because it wasn't from me.
I got it from Sinetta.
He said that.
That's where I got it from. His DVD.
Okay, so
I can't remember the names.
But let me say this one thing.
Ashwan Crazy, one. One. Ashwan Crazy.
Now he's starting to remember. Now he's starting to remember.
First of all, come on, man. Y'all crazy, man. They scared to death. They scared to look. They shook. Shook teacher. How y'all following a shook teacher? How y'all following a shook teacher, man? Just follow him and get in that money, man. That's it. In the UCC. Other than that,
I see what Dr. York had to go through. I'm in motherfuckers' mind. They waking up in cold sweat saying, I gotta find a way to bring that nigga down. I bet you he's faking. I bet you he's plagiarizing. I bet you he don't speak those languages. I bet you he ain't really writing it. I bet you his wives is really writing it. I bet you those wives is really his sisters and they all bullshit. They doing this. Listen, man. I know I'm overwhelming you, man, with my personality. It's not going to get any better. It's going to get worse. So you can't handle it now. You'll never handle it again. You're going to kill yourself, man, because I'm not going to go downward. Listen, you said I taught you that. First of all.
No, I didn't say you.
And I'm mad at you because you ain't paying attention as a student.
I said you mentioned it.
I never taught that.
I said you mentioned it.
I never mentioned that a day in my life.
You mentioned Horace, man. Whatever, man.
Yeah, I mentioned Horace and I like the tape. But there's golden phallus and all this other stuff you talking?
Yeah, I heard that. What text you got?
I didn't say.
We want to know where you got that.
I said comparison of Horace and Jesus you made. I ain't tell the story because there's thousands of different stories of that rendition. Of that story.
If I would have been quiet, you would have passed it off like I told you that crazy.
You've been doing that to me all day, all night. So it would have been fair if I was doing it anyway.
Making shit up on purpose.
Hold up, buddy. No, polite. I need him because he came up here. He said he have a gripe with Sarah Sutton.
Yeah,
let's hear what is his gripe.
Himself in the conscious community. They gotta stop.
But I want him to talk because all he gonna do is open up a fucking cage right now that I don't think he's gonna be able to lock.
I'm trying to.
See what I'm saying? He getting ready to open up a motherfucking cage right now.
First of all, look, let's get this straight. When y'all come in talking about Islam, anything else you talk about, fine. But when you come in blasting Islam,
who you talking
I'm
to?
going to Seti, anybody, but especially Seti.
That's why I like
talking about Islam. I'm there. I don't got nothing else to talk about.
Yo, that's why I love BASHIR though. BASHIR stands up.
That's beautiful.
This is a Muslim that stands up.
He can get knocked right the fuck down.
But to stand up.
He can get knocked right the fuck down. He might not believe in gravity, but gravity sure as hell believe in him. He can stand up for Muslims and he can get knocked the fuck down for it too. Because all that shit is based on some bullshit. All that shit is based on some bullshit. That's right. All of it. Every last bit of it is based on some bullshit. Alright? You ain't even got your own book. You talking about our own religion. Your shit came from the Hebrews. Your Adam and Eve story came from them. So if they shit is fake, how is your shit real? That don't make no sense. One come before two. You didn't have no Quran in the 3rd century BCE. They claim their shit go back to the 3rd century BCE. Therefore, your literature ain't nothing but a plagiarized, reworked version of their shit. It's some hand-me-down bullshit. So what are you talking about? You're not saying anything. Polite. You name me, brother, you name me one Quran that was coexistent with the Septuagint in the 1st century AD. Name me one Quran.
Go ahead, BASHIR.
Name me the author was and where it was published. Name it. Because I'm not Seti and I'm not him, bro. You do not know what you fucking with. Please, bring it. Bring it. Matter of fact, I put money on this shit. Let's go. Let's put some money on it.
BASHIR. He got this quiet, BASHIR.
Let's go.
I'm letting all that my man too. Hold on.
Yo, get this.
I'm letting all that.
Let's go get this. Right now. Money. Right now. Go. Name one Quran that was in existence in the 1st century AD when the Septuagint was in circulation. Alexandria, Egypt. Name one.
I got 100 on you.
No, hold up, polite. Name one.
First of all, wait.
He ain't say two. Just one.
You know, when they say first of all, everybody pay attention.
Man.
Keep an eye on them. Keep an eye on them.
Matter of fact, go get some help. Bring a real Muslim scholar.
Everybody pay attention.
Real Muslim scholar.
Everybody pay attention. What did the brother ask me?
Chill, Polite.
The brother asked me in the 1st century, right? A.D.
Go ahead.
The name of the Quran.
He knows what you have. Where's your location? Where was it?
Ask me. What I'm asking you is there a difference between the word Quran, and is there something else added with that word Quran ever in the history of the Holy Quran?
Name me one Quran that was coexistent with the Septuagint in the 1st century AD. Name me one Quran.
Go ahead, Bashir.
Name me the author was and where it was published. Name it. Because I'm not Seti and I'm not him, bro. You do not know what you fucking with. Please, bring it. Bring it. Matter of fact, I put money on this shit. Let's go. Let's go. Let's put some money on it.
Bashir. He got this quiet, Bashir.
Let's go. Let's go.
I'm letting all
my man too.
Hold on. Yo, get this.
I'm letting all the
Let's go get this. Right now. Money. Right now. Go. Name one Quran that was in existence in the 1st century AD when the Septuagint was in circulation. Alexandria, Egypt. Name one.
I got 120.
No, hold on, Polite. Name one.
First of all, wait.
He ain't say 2. Just one.
You know, when they say first of all, they want to say 5 days.
Everybody pay attention, man.
Keep an eye on them. Keep an eye on them.
Matter of fact, go get some help. Bring a real Muslim scholar.
Everybody pay attention.
Real Muslim scholar.
Everybody pay attention. What did the brother ask me?
Chill, Polite.
The brother asked me in the 1st century, right? A.D.
Go ahead.
The name of the Quran.
He knows what you have. Where's your location? Where was it?
Ask me. What I'm asking you is there a difference between the word Quran, and is there something else added with that word Quran ever in the history of the Holy Quran?
So that was your answer to my question? In other words, he can't name one.
Always been Quran.
He can't name one.
Only a Quran. That's it.
In other words, hold on, over here. That's Arabic for I can't name one Quran in the 1st century AD when they were set to Septuagint. Because it did not exist.
First of all, look.
I'm going to embarrass you every second of the way. Since you want to come out the mouth, I'm going to embarrass you every second. Let's go.
First of all, there's only that book that the Muslims call the Holy Book. The name of it is Quran.
Okay.
Period. There is no other names other than metaphorical names. Right? So what you're talking about is garbage anyway, because you're trying to act like there's more than one name of the Quran. And if there is, tell him to give us the name that's other than Quran. Where is it? Give us a name other than Quran.
Why you accept people not answering
questions? Give us the name other than Quran.
Why you accept people not answering questions?
Where is it?
Why you accept
No, you got to answer his question first.
I did. The answer is Quran. There was always the Quran.
You said
there was never. First of all, bro, let's not play games. Let's not play games.
Yeah, you said it was you that said it. Your words. I didn't say it.
First of all, you're playing games, bro. That's all you're doing. That's all you're doing.
That's why you need.
I got 1,000 witnesses right here. Am I playing games, anybody?
No, sir.
Okay, so now you just been proven wrong. So now,
been proven wrong.
Yeah, go ahead. All right, so now.
So what is the? I said Quran. So what is the other name of the Quran? Tell me.
Well, don't know and don't care.
Whoa.
Don't know and don't care.
How you gonna ask you?
Don't know and don't care.
The names? Oh, don't know and don't care. But
I gave you a name. I said Quran. I said name me one Quran.
I also said the name was Quran.
But no. I said where was it? I said was it in existence in the 1st century AD when there was a Septuagint in circulation in Alexandria, Egypt? Was there a Quran in existence in the 1st century AD? Where was it? No. So stop. So therefore, if there was a story in the 1st century AD with Adam, Eve, Moses, Noah, Elijah, and all these people that y'all gave a little different pronunciation to the name to, if that story was already in existence in the 1st century BC, when y'all came out with a book with the same fucking name, that's called plagiarism, my brother. These days you go to jail for that. That's called plagiarism. Now I hope you like the guts.
So I guess all of us here are plagiarized people, because we came from a great-grandparent, a grandparent, a mother to a child, so on and so forth. So for him to make the statement, the Quran makes the claim that all of these things was an evolution of the religion in the first place.
Yeah, that's what the Quran says.
I don't care what you want to talk about. I don't care what you want to talk about. I'm breaking it down.
The Quran is not history. I'm talking about history.
This is the point.
The Quran is not history.
The point is,
why would the first Arabs Christians not Muslims?
Let him make his point.
Go ahead.
Let him make his point.
Go ahead.
He made a claim that the teachings was there before. First of all, some of the teachings was there before, but not all of the teachings that are in the Quran was available at that time.
Okay.
However, the Quran makes the claim that it was the evolutionary
process. You just said the Quran makes the claim. Who's the Quran? So what? The Quran makes a claim. The Bible makes a lot of claims.
Religious people don't understand that.
I know, they can't make the they can't discern, but go ahead. Nothing. Boys and girls, hold on.
The same thing happened with Kemet. See, this is back again. This is intellectual masturbation.
Hold on. Let me ask you a question. Where your student at? Why he?
This is my brother. This is my brother. Not my student.
Come on, man.
This is my brother.
He's trying to join you.
Let me make this clear. Oh, go ahead.
Keep it focused.
That's my man.
Yeah, but
you don't agree on everything. We don't agree on everything.
You don't want to agree with him right now.
You don't even supposed to say that. You don't supposed to say that. That's supposed to be.
Tell you how he feels.
That's my man. That's my man. That's my man.
He want to tell you comment.
All right.
He want to get his real estate game up. Sick of that.
Yo, bro. Right. That's what you stay with. The real estate. Don't come to Islam with that.
Go ahead, boss. Go ahead,
You the student. I ain't even speaking to you. I'm teaching you. I'm teaching you. I'm teaching you. Yeah, I am a student. But you my student. You my student. Come on. Stop playing.
Yo, check this out.
Stop playing.
Yo,
that's right.
The quote, yo, can I get something for you? Fam, I can't fuck with it if you. I can't scream over you, fam.
No, you can scream over me.
Y'all need to take that over there.
You can scream it over me, though.
Hold on, I'm trying to address what you said.
Come on.
This brother a few minutes ago, my brother Bashir, he's my passionate brother who I got nothing but love for. A few minutes ago, he quoted Walter Rodney, and Walter Rodney referenced the Muslims as Mohammedans. Those were not my words, those were Walter Rodney's words. Do you know why he referenced them as Mohammedans as opposed to being Muslims? You know why?
Why?
Because before the 19th century, there was no such thing as Islam on the fucking planet. It didn't exist anywhere. They were known as Mohammedans because they fucking worshipped Muhammad. That's why. And I'll show you a million different literature references for that. 1,000,001, and put money on it.
Did you know that Imam Bashir?
Money on it.
Man.
Yeah, go ahead. Quote him again.
He don't know what he's talking.
Quote him again. Quote Walter Rodney again.
Look, this is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
This is for. I'm gonna do it again because it got real nasty and too loud.
Who you quoting?
But
Who you quoting?
I'm gonna give 3 scholars that tell that Islam came in peace and it did not destroy the African people.
Sure. Let's see which one used the word peace.
Be quiet real quick.
Yeah,
Thank you.
We're looking for the word peace, boys and girls.
So I can read it.
Go ahead.
All right.
We're looking for the word peace.
Pre-colonial Black Africa, page 163.
I got that home.
The primary reason for the success of Islam in Black Africa, with one exception, consequently stems from the fact that it was propagated peacefully. Well, that's the word peaceful. You heard it, right?
You're right.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. At first, by solitary Aroba Berbers traveled to certain black kings and notables who then spread it about them to those under their jurisdiction.
Right.
What is to be emphasized here is the peaceful nature that Sheikh Anta was saying that came in. Now look, also, let's go to this part.
Whoa, who you quoting there?
Sheikh Anta man.
Hold on now, you're not quoting Sheikh Anta. Somebody just referenced Sheikh Anta name in that quote.
No, listen to me.
Yeah.
Listen to me, bro. I said the quote, and what I said was, this is what Sheikh Anta was saying. Why, don't confuse everything.
Okay, no problem. No, I just want to make sure. No problem.
Don't confuse everything.
No problem.
All right. Now, let's go to this, because you must have missed this. This is an absolutely quote.
Go ahead.
Again, Sheikh Anta page 166. He said, African religions, more or less forgotten, were in the process of atrophying. Atrophying means dying, right? So he's saying African religions were dying and being emptied of their spiritual content, their former deep metaphysics. Compete with Islam on the moral or rational level. That's page 166. Go ahead and read it. Hold up. Let's go real quick.
I have no problem with that.
Let's go real quick to
We see you for what you are.
I have no problem.
You wearing your glasses backwards.
Let's go real quick to Ivan Van Sertima.
Okay. Golden Age of the Moors?
That's pulled this. Yes, sir.
Okay, no problem.
Yes, sir.
No problem.
Because you know, there's a problem with Sheikh Antadia.
All right. No problem. Hold on. Why we got a problem with Joe?
He married a white woman.
Nah, I got no problem with him, bro. I got no problem with Joe.
Oh, now you got help.
I got no problem
Look,
with
Imam, now you got help. He's a warrior.
Last time.
He's a warrior.
No problem.
Now you got help now.
No, I got no problem with Joe. None at all. Except one, he was a Muslim.
Head up.
Go ahead.
I have a bad sermon.
Go ahead.
I think it should be Golden Age of the Moor, pages 18 to 33. I think it should also be pointed out, on the contrary, to myths about the Muslims, that they did not force their religion down the throats of the Christians. John Jackson, in an informative chapter of the Moors, in his book, Introduction to African Civilizations, shows us how the Christians and the Jews and the Muslims were treated with equal respect during the dynasty of the Umayyads, and he said that there was no other historical proof that peacefulness did not change after the Umayyad dynasty of the Islamic Empire. Okay. So you got that. Hold up, one more. One more. I'm giving you one more. Giving y'all one more.
You're making it boring.
Look. So here we go.
That's the point.
J.A. Rogers, page 108. This ain't for TV. This for enlightening your mind.
Go ahead, Bashir.
Get out of here.
Come on.
Y'all wanna make rap songs? That's because he's a rapper instead of a teacher.
I'm a singer, so
Get out of here.
Go ahead.
Get out of here, man.
Go ahead.
In short, the Negro was discriminated against in no phase of Mohammedan life. Oiled the ground of color. Islam was the greatest and freest of all melting pots.
Okay.
What? Sex and race, page 108.
Okay.
Period.
Right,
what I'm showing.
Bro, no, you read.
What I'm showing is there's scholars verifying what I'm saying, that Islam came in a peaceful manner and not the way that they trying to tell our people that they just came in cutting throats and saying, take this Quran and you won't be my slave. Okay. That's a lie.
Okay. All right, now you gotta let him get it in.
Go ahead.
So what about the Zinjis? What about the Zinjis in Zanzibar?
He's asking you what about the 1,000-year slave trade that was ran by the Muslim Arabs and the Caliphate from Baghdad that basically enslaved our asses and taught the Europeans how to get us.
It would make Zinji almost synonymous with the word nigga.
Yeah, right, absolutely. And taught the Europeans how to get us.
It would make Zinji almost synonymous with the word nigga.
Yeah, right, absolutely. But I'm not going to touch that.
My point. You just did.
Hold on, brother. He ain't cut you off. We let you read.
I want to address what you read. Number one, what you read by Diop when he said that the convergence or the congregating of Islam in West Africa was more or less peaceful. He also contradicts that in the same book, Pre-Colonial Black Africa, when he puts the blame on the Almoravid, basically the Morized or the Moorish Africans, the Islamicized Africans who came down from the Sahara and from Mauritania and destroyed the Ghanaian Empire. So just like the Bible, he contradicted himself. Yes, Job just did that. Because number one, I never heard him say anything quite so nice and flattering about Islam, even though I should expect him to, because not only was he a Muslim, but he came from a very special sect of Muslims in Senegal. Okay? So no problem with that. But I forget what they were called. Say it again. No, not Sufis. There's another name for them.
Sufis, man.
Okay, well there might be a Western term for them, but there's another name for them that they use in their country.
Sufi is not Western, brother.
Bro, do you speak Wolof? Menga Def, Manafrik, Menga Tulu Shaka. Do you speak Wolof?
Did I claim to speak Wolof?
Okay, then so why are you telling me the name of the people he came from? They're Wolof people. All right, end the discussion. Excuse me. Hold on, brother. I'm still addressing what you read. So number one, Joe, boys and girls, go to that same book, Pre-Colonial Black Africa, and if you want to contact me, I'm most forever shaka at Gmail, SHAKKA, forever, the word forever shaka at Gmail. I will give you the page, the number, and the paragraph where Diop himself says that the Muslim Moors came down from the north and they destroyed the Ghanaian Empire, and they did that on behalf of the Baghdad Caliphate, whom they had an economic relationship with. I will give you the words in ink and letter. Okay, no problem with that. That's number one. Number two,
Yikes.
You addressed, what did you say? Oh, you said Walter Rodney. Oh. You said something about Walter Rodney. What did Walter Rodney supposedly say? See, that's the problem. When you read that stuff, before you go on a filibuster, you should allow the person to address what it is you said. The same way we were on the floor of a Senate or of any other real type of institution, you would have that chance to respond. But you filibuster, so no problem.
Y'all need Islam, man.
Brother, no problem. No. I let you talk.
Nah, he didn't let you talk.
Cut me off. It's my turn.
Bro,
He cut me off.
nah, we let you read. He let you read. No, hold up, Bashir. He let you read, Bashir.
Let me read.
Just now, then I let you read
Go ahead.
Yeah, he did let you read 3.
All right. So the other thing, my whole point is this: you say that you say that you just call a documentation that says Islam came in peacefully. Because Christian missionaries came into Africa peacefully. That doesn't mean that they didn't leave the land.
Bashir, you getting this motherfucking work tonight, too.
Yo, hold up.
You getting this work tonight, bro.
You getting this work. Can I finish? Bro, I don't gotta even rely on a book to respond to that bullshit. Hold on. Let me finish. The brother just said, yo, hold on. Let me get some silence over here. Yo, the brother just said that Islam came into Africa peacefully. My point is that Christianity, the Christian missionaries came into Africa peacefully. And you saw what that did. They came with the Bible, right? And they left with the land.
That's right.
Okay? They didn't leave with the land. They're still there and they still own it. So coming in peacefully does not mean that you're coming in to do us any good. Okay? The way that, and matter of fact, hey bro, can you hold it down for a sec? Number one, look at the methodology that they used to come in. They came in and they did what they always do. They converted the leaders. They converted the rulers first. And when you convert the rulers first, it's called trickle-down economics. If your ruler becomes a Christian, everybody else got to become a Christian. Ask Ethiopia if you think I'm lying. That's right. Okay? If your ruler becomes a Muslim, everybody else in there got to become a Muslim. I mean, whatever it is, that's how it works. And the only reason that the leaders, Bashir, the only reason that the leaders converted to Islam was because the Islamic Caliphate in Baghdad had an economic rule and a principle. You cannot do business with us at our level and under our standards unless you are a Muslim. Therefore, in order for the African rulers to be able to export their goods to markets that were controlled by the Caliphate Baghdad, they had to convert to Islam. That's why they were able to do it peacefully, because they already put a stranglehold on the economic trade routes. It had nothing to do with the love of the Quran. It had nothing to do with that. So don't fall for that bullshit. It had to do with this. Money. This guy. Go ahead, man. I don't even need a book. I don't even got to quote a book to deal with that bullshit. Are you kidding me? That's some kindergarten bullshit, dude. That's some kindergarten bullshit. Yo. You don't want me on the stage with documentation because I make you go home crying, bro.
Sarnetta tricks you into thinking you can handle this conversation.
You're a clown, bro. Set it up, dude.
No, we gonna set it up. Yo, next major debate, we need to have him on the stage.
Bring me Wesley Muhammad. He's a clown.
Wesley Muhammad. You want Wesley?
Bring me them nuts. So I can crush them in my hands. Bring me them nuts so I can crush them in my hands.
Yo,
with a little PhD.
Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. Break. I love Wesley. I love him.
But Wesley's a clown. You know why Wesley's a clown? No, let me tell you why Wesley's a clown, bro. Let me tell you why Wesley's a clown. The reason Wesley's a clown is because you can go into his archives and pull out all that shit he was talking about Kemet until he had to go and do his research to be able to debate competently. And then he came back trying to merge Islam with Kemet, trying to show how Islam came out of Kemet. So how is it in one breath you trying to shit on ancient Kemet, and you trying to say me everything under the sun, and I will pull out every fucking thing you said, Wesley. You're gonna go in there and talk shit about Kemet, and then later on, after you do your homework, after brother, one more thing. Hold on, one more thing. I got one more thing, bro. I'm gonna let you roll. Check it out. Ask yourself. I want you to ask yourself, why is it that the first Arabs who received religion, the very first ones, Why is it they were Christians first before they adopted the whole Christian Reformation that they later on became known as Mohammedism? Ask them why.
Hold on, wait.
You gotta go in. You gotta go in.
But look,
come on, go in.
Just give me a minute.
Oh, by the way, if you want to know where Islam actually came from, all that shit came out of the Syrian church. All of it came out of the Jacobite church. All of it. Bar none. All of it. As a matter of fact, if you want to know what Muslims really are, Muslims are nothing but the residue of monophysite Christians. Go home and look at the definition monophysite. There's a difference between diophysitic Christians and monophysitic Christians. Diophysitic Christians, see what we're talking about, basically, excuse me, brother. Excuse me, brother. All right, there you go. All right, basically what we're talking about is a 921-year polemic. All right? In this 921-year polemic, there were certain decrees decreed by what you call ecumenical councils. These Muslims, or whatever they want to call themselves with their Quran and all that other stuff, all that stuff came out after the Council of Chalcedon, where they decreed that Jesus Christ had two natures. You had a certain sector of Christians, and particularly the Arab Christians in the Eastern Roman Empire in Byzantium. They did not like the idea of Jesus Christ having two natures.
You don't know what
they didn't like the idea of Jesus Christ having two natures.
It's a real fucking scholar right here.
So therefore, what they did was they adhered to the old teaching that God only had one nature. These are what you call monophysite Christians, and their stronghold was in the Jacobite church in Syria, and they were under a particular bishop who worked on behalf of the Queen. Let me tell you something. If you want to know the true origin of Islam,
we do.
If you really want to know the true origin of Islam,
we do.
You have to master the Eastern Roman Empire. You have to master what's called the Byzantium Empire. It was out of what happened with the Arabs in Byzantium, in a place called Constantinople. They had a disagreement with the diophysitic Christians who believed that Jesus Christ had two natures. They said, no, God only has one nature. There's only one God. And Queen Theodora, who was married to Justinian I, she sent her favorite bishop, a Jacobite bishop by the name of Baradus. Look up Jacob Baradus. Go to Wikipedia and look up Jacob Baradus. And what anywhere you want to look, just type his name and it doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, what you also need to look up is look up the veracity of Wikipedia. They've done studies on it to show that Wikipedia is just as accurate as Encyclopedia Britannica and all the rest of them. So you can kill that. All right, no problem. Excuse me. So anyway, I'm almost done, son. I'm almost done.
That's not helping us out here.
All right. So in any case, you need all the help you can get, bro. So in any case, the bottom line is that all Islam is, or all Mohammedism is just Christian reformation that took hold after they broke away from the Council of Chalcedon. That's it. It's nothing else, and that's the very reason why their text is built on the Hebrew text. That's why it's built on the Bible. It's built on the Bible because it came out of the Bible.
We're not trying to destroy our brother, though, man.
Without his text. Hold on. Let me finish. Go ahead. Without his text.
You wrong for this shot.
Without his text. Let me finish, yo. Without his text that mentions Adam, Eve, Moses, and all the rest of these other non-existent people, without that text, his whole religion disappeared because the only thing Muhammad claimed to do, he never existed either, but the only thing Muhammad claimed to do was he came to reform shit. He came to reform some fictitious bullshit. It was already fictitious before he got here with his fictitious self. So it's all bullshit. No matter how you slice it, it's bullshit. As far as Jesus and Horus is concerned, because the brother touched on that earlier, as far as Jesus and Horus is concerned, brother, I am the last human being on the planet you want to talk to about that. You much rather talk to anybody else about that than me. Because I will show you the documentation and what's called, you need to learn a new word, it's called primary evidence. You know what primary evidence is? Primary evidence means I don't have the last word and you don't have the last word. The evidence has the last word. You understand what I'm saying? It means the evidence. Evidence. I don't know a religious person that has the word evidence in their lexicon because it don't exist. Well, let me tell you what the evidence says. The evidence says that Osiris was resurrected. The evidence says that Osiris was resurrected after he had been killed.
The world. We know that.
Excuse me, brother. Excuse me.
You keep saying excuse me.
All right, yo. Two things. These are the connections between Jesus and Osiris. Number one, Jesus had two fathers.
They doing the Hebrew, grab the mic.
Here we go.
There you go. Show us the two
Are you scared of something I'm going to say?
Grab the mic.
Are you scared of something I'm going to say? Are you scared about something I'm going to say?
You got the mic now. Now you just running all over. Get the mic. Go ahead. Go ahead, Hebrew man. Keep the mic.
I'm not a Hebrew. I'm not a see-through Hebrew. I'm not a see-through Hebrew.
Keep the mic.
All right, let me finish what I'm saying. So where was I?
You was at Jesus.
Oh, thank you very much. All right, here's the deal. Jesus had two fathers. He had an earthly father and he had a heavenly father. Well, it just so happens, boys and girls, that Osiris had two fathers. His father in the Ennead was Geb, okay? His earthly father. In fact, not only was his earthly father, but his earthly father was the earth itself. That's where the idea of an earthly father came from. Geb was the earth, okay? That's number one. Number two, excuse me. Number two, he had a heavenly father. Ray, or if you want to call Ra, that was his heavenly father. So if you want to know where the clown Christians and Muslims got the idea of an earthly father and a heavenly father, it came from the story of Osiris, of Asaru, okay? All right, no problem. No, but you claim. Okay, excuse me. Okay, no problem. So in any case, so they both had two earthly fathers. Let's finish. Number one, when Isis became impregnated by her deceased husband, it was not through what we know as corporeal sexuality. There was no human sex that took place. That is the same claim made for Mary and Jesus. End of discussion with respect to those. If you read, now see, if brother here actually read the Petit Imheru, if brother here actually read the Petit Imheru, which is the actual original name of